The following is a special presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.
Program.
Skytime program tonight's
Best ninth-inning team in all of baseball.
The pretenders are gone. Left 8 teams, each feeling they've got a shot to win it all.
30 seconds.
Stand by, guys. Here we go.
This is the moment many of these players have been dreaming about since they first started playing the
Stand by
game.
2.
Last year, the Cardinals' best record in baseball.
What did it get them? A sweep in the World Series. This year, the Cardinals will be bringing the broom.
It began the day last season ended. The Cardinals' quest to stake their claim as the best team in the game. Only a World Series title will do. But first, a necessary step. Get rid of the Padres.
The fans are on their feet, finally getting a chance to watch their team play in the playoffs.
From St. Louis to San Diego, the series moves, but will it shift in favor of the Padres? For them, there will be no second chance should they again falter. It's win now or wait till next year. Game 3 next.
They've overcome injuries and slumps, yet here they are. But they know their greatest challenge still lies ahead.
It's the National League Division Series presented by Budweiser. It's a cool night in San Diego at beautiful new Petco Park, which tonight is hosting its very first postseason game. And they've had pomp, circumstance, ceremony, a Navy band that played the national anthem, and they've had all of the ceremony associated with a big game. It's the St. Louis Cardinals, champions of the Central, up against the Padres, champions of the West. And Reggie Sanders has been the man so far in this series. He's outshone everyone, even some of his much more heralded teammates. He's had 8 RBIs in the first 2 games of the series, which the Cardinals won with relative ease. Hello, everyone. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, and here we are in San Diego. And the Padres, a lot of people think they weren't good enough to be here, even their own fans perhaps, but here they are, champions of the West as it was, and now they're playing to stay alive. And when you think of this Cardinal ball club, you think of all of those sluggers like Jim Edmonds, Reggie Sanders, and the great Albert Pujols. But tonight, a guy who knows them very well, Joe, their former teammate, Woody Williams, will go for San Diego. And you have to forgive Woody if tonight it's personal, because he's very good friends with a lot of these guys. He had some great seasons with the Cardinals. He won 18 for them just a couple of years ago.
Well, the word warriors used to describe Woody Williams, that means he is a tough competitor because he's been through a lot and he's still standing. If you're the San Diego Padres, you couldn't have a better guy to go to the mound for you. You know he's going to give you a great effort, and he's going to have to shut down the St. Louis Cardinals because the San Diego Padres are just not equipped to outscore the St. Louis Cardinals.
All right, now, for the St. Louis Cardinals, a good friend of Woody Williams is going tonight. That's Matt Morris. Now, Morris has a 2.03 ERA in Division Series play, but he's only ever won 1 time in Division Series play, and he finished up in a slump this year, Joe, in the regular season.
Well, he didn't win in his last 7 starts, John, and what that tells me that he can't go into this game with a lot of confidence. So he's going to have to get off to a good start. He's going to have to throw his curveball for strikes. That's his key pitch tonight. So we'll watch that early in this ball game. If he throws strikes with his curveball, he can contain the Padres. But I expect the Padres to break out. They have been swinging the bats better, actually, than St. Louis, but they haven't been picking up the runners. And they're here at home. I expect them to put on a good offensive show tonight. So Matt Morris better be on his game.
All right, yeah, the Padres hitting .329 in the first 2 games of the series. The big crowd is ready to let it loose. The noise has already begun at Petco Park. The Padres trying to stay alive in this National League Division Series, and we'll be back to get it started. Downtown skyline is seen from the bayfront and inside Petco Park, which is just off the Gaslamp Quarter in downtown San Diego and just a couple of blocks away from the water. And the marine layer has come in off the coast, settled in over the ballpark, which has cooled it off a little bit, and the ball will not carry well based on previous experience under those conditions here at Petco Park, which is a big yard to begin with. The Padres take the field, and this is the first postseason game for them in their new ballpark, which is just a beautiful ballpark. One thing we always remember from Qualcomm Stadium, the old yard, In postseason time, it got real loud in there with 66,000 fans. Here's Tony La Russa, 27 major league seasons as a manager, and third on the all-time list for managerial victories. And here's the lineup turned in by Tony La Russa. David Eckstein leads off at shortstop. It'll be Jim Edmonds in center field, 3 for 6 with a homer so far. Albert Pujols is at first base. He's 3 for 6. Larry Walker is in right field, and he's hitless. Reggie Sanders, he's got 2 teams worth of RBIs already in 2 games. Mark Grudzielanek at second base. Abraham Nunez, who's been filling in for the injured Scott Rowland most of the year, at third base. Yadier Molina, the kid brother of Benji and Jose Molina of the Angels, the catcher, and Matt Morris, the pitcher, is batting ninth for St. Louis. All up against the 39-year-old right-hander, Woody Williams. The last time he pitched in a postseason game, it was Game 1 of last year's World Series. He was the Game 1 starter at Fenway Park for the Cardinals.
Well, we mentioned that he is a veteran. He's been in the league a long time. He also knows these hitters. I don't know if that's going to help him or not. He's going to have his good stuff, keep the ball down, and give his defense a chance. And I think one of the things that is good about this Padre field is that they have a very good defense. I mean, they play well, especially on the infield. The 2 guys up the middle, Khalil Green and Mark Loretta, are 2 of the best. Not only offensively, but defensively as well. These are the 2 keys. I think these are the guys that they're going to have to build their future around here in San Diego. They're very good players.
So David Eckstein stands in, and here we go. Game 3 underway. That is in there for a called strike. So at 10 minutes past 8 Pacific Daylight Time, we're underway. That's into left center field. That's falling, and that is in there. Base hit. The center fielder Roberts over to pick it up. And David Eckstein leads off with a single.
And David Eckstein hits a lot of those types of hits, John. We saw it in the first game. He just hits a lot of balls softly into the outfield, puts the ball in play, doesn't try to do too much, and he gets a lot of base hits that way.
Well, he hit almost 300 this year for the Cardinals, and he finished up on a hot streak. Here's Jim Edmonds. Edmonds, 3 hits in 6 at-bats for the series. And that ball bounces in there for ball 1. The Cardinals need just 1 win more. And they are such a heavy favorite in this series. I think the conventional wisdom is not only that they of course would win the series, but they'd sweep the Padres. Jim Edmonds, feet wide apart. That is a little bit low.
Well, one thing to remember that the Padres have actually out-hit them in each game. But the point is, they've had big hits. The Reggie Sanders grand slam, the 8 RBIs by Sanders. Those have been key hits for the Cardinals, and so far the Padres have not been able to get any key hits.
And the fastball is high and tight. Now it's 3-0 with Albert Pujols on deck.
Well, not the type of start you were looking for. You have to go 3-0 with Albert Pujols sitting in the on-deck circle.
And Edmonds taken all the way there, although, as we discovered in Game 1, it would not ever be a surprise to see a Cardinals swing 3-0. Reggie Sanders hit a grand slam on a 3-0 pitch on Tuesday. That's right over the outside corner. Strike 2 call.
I don't think you'll see guys hitting 3-0 unless there's someone in scoring position. I don't think they want to be in a position where they have to hit a home run to get the guy home. But if they're in scoring position, I think you'll see him swing 3-0.
3-2 now to Eckstein. What about Eckstein? Is he running?
Well, I think he will be, yes. He's not.
Strike. No, a foul. He fouled it and off the glove of Hernandez. So he is still alive.
Well, he just gets a piece of it. But I was surprised that Eckstein wasn't running.
Edmonds is the guy who strikes out the most often of any of the Cardinal hitters. That is strike 3.
And that was a beautiful pitch. He tried to go inside on the second pitch in this at bat, and he missed. Everything else was pretty much away, and then he comes right on the inside corner for a called strike. Look at this. The setup is perfect. The pitch is perfect. A perfectly thrown pitch there by Woody Williams. And you can see Ramon Hernandez was set up right on the inside corner, and he hit the inside corner.
So Edmonds not happy with that call. Now Albert Pujols, the Cardinals' great slugger. And that's too low for ball one.
The one thing that I like about Woody Williams is he pitches very quickly. He doesn't fool around out there. That keeps his defense on their toes. And he will go after hitters.
1 ball, no strikes to the dangerous Pujols. And the curveball too low. And outside, 2-0 the count. Pujols faced Woody Williams for the first time this year and had 1 hit in 3 at-bats against him. That 1 hit was a home run. Runner at first, 1 out, 2-0 the count. A little bit low.
Man. Well, Edmonds was all over the home plate umpire. And you can see right there, Bruce Bochy didn't think that pitch was too low.
Bruce Dreckman is the home plate umpire. You got Larry Walker on deck, 3-0 the count. Swinging away. Deep right center field. Giles on the run. He'll have to go chase it. Eckstein going to be waved home by Oquendo. And Pujols with the big turn will stop at second base. The throw cut off by Fick, and it is 1-0 St. Louis.
And that's the problem you have falling behind good hitters, because you have to give them a fastball. I thought the 2-0 pitch was just the same pitch that he swung at right there. That pitch is down and away. And good hitting there by Pujols, who is, as we all know, a very good hitter.
And Albert with his second RBI of this series, and he now has 4 hits in 7 at-bats. Now Larry Walker. Walker is still looking for his first hit. He is 0 for 6. The curveball top foul off to the right. Not only is he 0 for 6, but he has struck out 4 times in those 6 at-bats. Albert Pujols with his 4th hit of the series, but his first 4 extra bases. When you think of Albert Pujols, you think of not just a power hitter, but a great hitter, but a guy who gets a lot of extra base hits. And that's a ball, 1 ball, 1 strike to Larry Walker. So the Cardinals have already quieted this crowd down. And they were making a lot of noise here a few moments ago.
You're right, John. And I thought that was one of the keys, was that Woody Williams would be able to go possibly 1, 2, 3, and that would really excite the crowd. He hasn't been able to do that. Now he's just got to work his way out of this jam and hold the damage to 1 run.
See, they're much more subdued now. And the catcher, Ramon Hernandez, will go out to the mound to talk to Woody Williams. By the way, this ballpark we're talking about, it's really a pitcher's ballpark. And it is particularly big out in the spot where Albert Pujols hit that double.
Well, the right center and left center are really the big parts of this ballpark. Right in there and over here. Those are the big parts of the ballpark.
411 feet to right center. And that is ball 2. Well, but also it's very deep even to straightaway right and more into right center, because in the right field corner where it's 322, that juts out and goes straight back to that fence. It's about 370, 380 in a hurry out there in straightaway right field.
Well, it's not that deep in straightaway center. It's 396 straight away. That's not that big. You know, it's a lot of ballparks are over 400 feet straight away.
2-1 the count. Off the plate, Woody Williams plays it like a pop-up and throws him out. Pujols over to third with 2 down. Now let's go down to our colleague Gary Miller.
John's very loud in here. Not only the first postseason game in San Diego in 7 years, the first ever in this ballpark. You remember at Qualcomm, especially in 98, they had the white towels. Tonight they handed out 43,000 of these division champ blue towels. It was a little quiet early on, as early as at a half hour before the game, but now it has gotten raucous in here if Woody can get through this.
All right, thanks, Gary. And the big crowd has gathered, and they're trying to help the Padres get it going as Reggie Sanders takes a called strike. Sanders has been the man. 6 RBIs, an all-time National League Division Series record in Game 1. And he had 2 more to cap the scoring in their Game 2 win on Thursday. He had a 2-run double in the 7th inning in their 6-2 win on Thursday. He's got Pujols at third, 2 down. The curveball is too low.
And the National League Series record is 9, John, and he has 8 so far.
Reggie Sanders, who seems to at long last really have found a home in St. Louis, playing here in San Diego, and he was once a Padre. Back to the screen, and he might like to see that same pitch again. Reggie Sanders in Game 1 on a 3-0 pitch at a grand slam, and that made it an 8-0 game. That was in the 5th inning of Game 1. Then in the 7th inning of Game 2, that was his 2-run double, driving in runs 5 and 6, and he ended up at third base on the throw to the plate. So it's been a great series for Reggie already. For the windup, curveball, and Sanders took it.
Nice pitch there by Williams. Excellent 2-strike pitch. You try to get the guy to chase this breaking ball. See, it starts in the strike zone and breaks out. But a good pitch with 2 strikes.
Sanders has seen Woody Williams several times before and has never done well against him. 1 hit in 13 at bats. In the dirt, blocked by Hernandez, keeping Pujols at third base. Now it's 3-2.
A good job there by Hernandez just to make sure that ball didn't get away. And this allows Woody, he really tried to snap that one off, as you can see. I mean, it had a lot of downward movement, but came up about 2 feet short of the plate.
1-0 Cardinals, 2 down. 3-2 to Sanders. Here it comes. And he walks him. And Reggie Sanders refused to offer at any one of those 2-strike curveballs. He got 3 in a row. So runners at first and third now. And Grenzolanic coming up. Now Reggie Sanders ordinarily is a guy, he's a very fast runner who can steal a base. And I don't know how he's running right now since he's come back from that injury. Well, they seem to be running pretty well in those first 2 games. And that's a ball down and away to Grenzolanic. But what about the idea of putting something on here?
Well, I don't think you do anything right now. I mean, you got first and third. Grenzolanic's a good hitter. Unless you get to 2 strikes, you might want to put something on. But before that, I think you just let him hit.
Grenzolanic, 1 hit, 8 at bats in this series, but in the regular season, he hit .294. And the catcher Hernandez out to talk to Woody Williams, who has now thrown 25 pitches, and 14 of the 25 have been out of the strike zone.
Well, I think you're going to see Hernandez change his target a little bit. Everything is toward the edge. I think you're going to have to move his target over toward the plate a little bit more. Give him something else to shoot at.
Along the right field line, Giles, and that's the inning.
Good job by Williams to get out of that.
Just the one for the Cardinals. Now Matt Moore. Bruce Bochy, the manager of the Padres, and he has been for a long time. It's the 3rd time that Bochy has taken the Padres into the postseason. Here's his batting order. The speedster, the base stealer, Dave Roberts, leads off in center field. Mark Loretta at second base. Brian Giles in left field. Ryan Plesko is in the cleanup spot, which is where you ordinarily expect him, but he hadn't been there for a while. Ramon Hernandez is the catcher. Robert Fick gets the call at first base. Khalil Green, shortstop, batting 7th. He's 3 for 6 in the series. Joe Randa is 3 for 7. Third base, and Woody Williams, who is a very good hitter for a pitcher, batting 9th, up against the 31-year-old right-hander Matt Morris, who could be in his final year with the Cardinals, the only team for which he's ever played professionally.
And the key to Morris will be how he controls his curveball, because that's a big weapon for him.
Fastball, a strike to Roberts on the outside. Roberts, I would think Roberts has got to be a key, because they got to get those guys at the top of the order on base to really get some things started.
Well, you know, John, if you look back, they're hitting well. They're just not hitting in clutch situations. I mean, they did not hit well during the season in clutch situations either. That's one of the reasons they didn't score a lot of runs. But they've been getting runners on base against the Cardinals, but they have not been able to push them around.
Well, what they have been able to do is, when they get runners on base, is hit double play balls.
Right.
They've grounded into 7 double plays in 2 games.
And 4 in a row, 4 consecutive innings they grounded into double plays. Every time they got something started, Mark Mulder got a ground ball, but Mulder specialized in that, and they definitely followed suit. They were just hitting a lot of ground balls every time they got a runner on first.
1-2 the count. Right to the second baseman, Grudzielanek. And there is one away. Now let's get an update from the studio with John Buccigross.
Mike Lamb goes back in the 3rd inning, and the Astros go on to win game number 3. They can wrap up this series tomorrow at home, 1 o'clock on ESPN, as they beat the Braves 7-3.
All right, so the Astros won a game. I thought they needed to win it at home with Oswalt going, and they did. That's a foul. Back to the, unlike the Yankees last night, who in game 3 had their ace lefty Randy Johnson going. The Yankees ended up getting rained out today in New York, and we're not surprised. We were there. We saw all that rain. We experienced it. 1 strike to Loretta, and there's that curveball that Joe was talking about. Too low.
Well, he got Dave Roberts out with the curveball after he got ahead with the fastball. The curveball is kind of his out pitch. If he can get ahead of you, that's what he used to put you away.
A ball and a strike. Into right center field. That's falling. That is caught by Walker. Walker and Edmonds converging, and it was Walker, the right fielder, who caught up to it.
Well, Larry Walker has won Gold Gloves on several occasions when he played for Colorado, and it was a tougher field to play in Colorado than here. But I mean, I thought this was going to drop in, but he runs in and gets there in time. I'm so used to watching guys slide to make that catch, but Walker just ran through it and made the catch.
Now Brian Giles, and that one just missed for ball 1. Giles is the big hitter for the Padres, but as you see, he's 2 for 8 in this series. That's a strike. But his numbers are really more of a real top-notch leadoff man, because he had a .423 on base average, but only 15 homers, 83 batted in. He walked 119 times, and he's done well against Morris over the years, including a couple of home runs in 24 fruitful at-bats. 2-1. Curveball is fouled, and it is 2-2 now. Not quite that time.
Nice assist there from his friend to pull him back over the rail.
Well, he's a White Sox fan.
Well, they've got a lot more fans today than they had yesterday. I mean,
that's foul off to the left.
A lot of people are White Sox fans today.
Yeah. That's another White Sox fan. He's an old-time White Sox. He's a Black Sox fan. That's the cap from 1919, isn't it?
I wouldn't know, John. I wasn't born then. I don't know. Actually, I did look like one of the old-time Sox hats.
Yeah. 1917, the last year the White Sox ever won a World Series. The Red Sox won the next year, 1918. And then they won a mere 86 years later. That's a little bit low.
I'll tell you what, I'm watching. Bregman has a, kind of a small strike zone. I mean, you're not supposed to be able to take that pitch right there with 2 strikes.
3-2. Popped up foul behind the plate. Molina comes back, but it's out of play.
I mean, hitters should have to swing. They should swing. If the ball's that close, you're supposed to swing at it with 2 strikes.
Well, Giles does a lot of taking, because we know that because he walked 119 times. Ryan Klesko would be next. 1-0, the Cardinals lead. And he slaps it foul off to the left. Back into the second deck. And a fan dropped it. Man, he had one of those postseason baseball souvenirs, and he let it get away. 3-2. Left center field deep. But Sanders is there. And the inning is over. A 10-pitch at bat there. Giles versus Morris. On to the second. 1-0 St. Louis.
Good, guys. Get your feet.
Game 3 of the National League Division Series. The Cardinals and the Padres. Albert Pujols with a double to deep right center to knock in Eckstein. That's the run right now that has the Cardinals ahead 1-0. And the big curveball from Woody Williams to Abraham Nunez for a called strike as the Cardinals come up here in the second inning. I'm John Miller along with Joe Morgan in San Diego. Gary Miller also downstairs with us. That curveball hangs high, and it is a ball and a strike. Yadier Molina is on deck, and then Matt Morris, the pitcher, due up third. Fastball too high. Well, we saw Benji Molina last night. There's Yadier, the third of the big league Molina catchers. Fastball, he blew it by him. 2-2 now to Nunez.
Williams is throwing the ball very well, John. I think after he got through that first inning, I think you'll see him settle down a little bit. Because he was throwing the ball well in the first inning. He was just missing his spots every once in a while.
2-2. Struck him out.
Yeah, he's throwing it well. Well, this is a riding fastball. He's thrown a curveball. He's thrown a sinking fastball. This is just your four-seamer. Just throw it right by him up in the zone. Just let it go.
Now Yadier Molina. And that is a strike at the knees.
And I think he working his way out of that jam in the first inning really, gave him a big boost.
That's going to be a base hit to right field.
Nice hitting.
Third hit for the Cardinals.
Well, first pitch was in, and then he goes away with a fastball. See the target. He hits the target, and Molina hits it the other way. Look at the target. Nice spot. It's good hitting there by Molina.
By the way, Benji Molina, who's having a great series against the Yankees. He's homered in all 3 games of that series, but last night he got knocked out of the game when he got hit by a pitch in the 7th inning by Tom Gordon. And the x-rays did turn up negative, which was very good to hear. And he was not going to be able to play in today's game had it not been rained out at Yankee Stadium. As Matt Morris has a long look at third base coach Jose Oquendo here. And you said that last night. No, he was going to be all store and
be able to play today. Yeah. No way.
But they said that he was actually, the elbow on which he got hit was better today than they anticipated. He was not going to play today, but now he might be able to play tomorrow. They'll see how he feels tomorrow and how the elbow responds. That day, that rainout could really work to the Angels' advantage. They went deep into their bullpen last night. Shields and Escobar each went 2 innings. Morris bunts it back to the pitcher. Woody Williams is going to go to second. There's one. Green back to first, and off the glove of Fick. The pitcher overran the bag, Morris, and then he turned the wrong way, but he was able to scurry back to the bag.
But Woody Williams fields this ball. If he gives Khalil Green a good throw, he might could turn the double play. But you see it's low because Khalil has to jump in the air and throw to first and bounce it away. Now watch Marsh. Here's Molina coming in. But the throw is what put him in a very vulnerable position. If it would have been a high throw, then he would have had a chance to make the double play, but at least they got the lead runner.
So now Morris at first base. And Fick will play behind him. And Eckstein takes ball 1.
Watch the play at first base. Here's Morris hustling. The low throw allows him to reach first base. And watch, if you turn to the inside as he does there, they got a chance to get him to tag him out, but they weren't able to get the ball back in time.
Yeah, and was that Woody Williams who'd hustled over to cover, or was that the second baseman? Because somebody was on the bag if Fick had been able to retrieve it in time to get it back there to get Morris. That ball is hit deep into left field, down the line. Klesko back. Goodbye. A two-run homer for Eckstein. 334 into the foul pole, or in this case, the foul building. And Eckstein, who hit only 8 home runs all year, muscles up here to make it 3-0 Cardinals.
Well, here's a fastball right down the middle. I don't think he felt like Eckstein was going to swing. It was 2 balls and no strikes. He threw a fastball right in the middle of the plate. He was trying to throw a strike, and Eckstein hits it out of the ballpark.
Woody Williams disgusted, but he's had some counts, hitters counts.
Right, that's what got him in trouble in the first inning.
Albert Pujols hit a 3-0 pitch for an RBI double. Eckstein is now 2 for 2. It was a 2-0 pitch that he just hit as Edmonds tops it foul. 0-2 the count. Once again, the crowd much more subdued now as the Cardinals, who have never been behind in this series, have a 3-0 lead already. Fastball away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Jim Edmonds. He was called out on strikes his first time. Eckstein really ended up having a very fine season for the Cardinals. He hit .294, drove in 61 runs, played a very strong shortstop for them. And that is a little bit too low. 2-2 the count. And Jim Edmonds was talking about this ball club, and he said, you know, we had 3 of our regulars out with injury. Says, I didn't have a very good year. Because we were carried all year by Eckstein and Pujols. That ball is hammered down the right field line, up against the 322 marker. Giles retrieves it. Edmonds digging for second, and he's in there standing with a double. Pujols is coming up, and we're going to go to the studio now to John Buccigross with a SportsCenter 30-30 update.
Thank you, John. Other baseball playoff action today. The Astros 1 win away from returning to the NLCS. They beat the Braves today in Houston 7-2. Mike Lamb, big home run in the third, and Michael Vick is questionable for tomorrow's game against the Patriots. Pretty much a game time decision. Full details on SportsCenter after the game. ESPN News right now.
All right, John. And meanwhile, here are the Cardinals, and they're trying to put these guys away early. Not just in this series, but in this elimination game. And the Padres bullpen is getting busy. They're going to walk Albert Pujols intentionally here, with Larry Walker struggling in the series coming up next. Here's ball 2 to Albert, who has had 4 hits and 7 at-bats. Brian Lawrence, ordinarily a Padres starting pitcher, is the right-hander warming up out there right now.
Well, I think this is a good play to walk Albert Pujols, although you're going to have to pitch to a left-handed hitter, Larry Walker. I still think Albert Pujols is such a good hitter, and he's swinging the bat so well right now that you try to avoid him at all costs.
Robert, 27 intentional walks during the season. So here is Walker. Walker hit one to the pitcher his first time, so he is 0 for 1 in the game. Runners at first and second, 2 runs in. That fastball in there for a strike. Edmonds at second, Pujols at first. 3-0. The Cardinals already ahead here in the second. And he helped him out a little bit, chased the fastball up out of the strike zone. Problem for the Padres, although it's very early in the game and they're down by 3. I mean, their offense is not a good offense for having to play catch-up baseball.
Well, 3 runs are not too many, but you can't fall any further behind and expect to be able to catch the Cardinals, because the Cardinals aren't going to stop.
That hit him. A slider, and Walker starts to run to first base. Then he stops. He's really limping. That got him right around the knee.
Well, an 0-2 pitch. He had just thrown a fastball by him up and away, and he tried to throw him a breaking ball in. And Larry Walker just stands there. He doesn't really try to get out of the way. Watch this. He just strides, and he just kind of leans, just stays there.
I mean, it looked to me like he was taking one for the team. But he's paying a price for it. He's hurting.
Well, it's no ball, 2-strike count. And a lot of people may say, well, he didn't try to get out of the way. Well, that ball was way off the plate inside. It wasn't near the corner. He didn't lean into it.
And look who's up. Reggie Sanders. This time he chases the curveball. And then he asked the plate umpire to take a look at that baseball. Well, Carlos Beltran last year in the division series drove in 9 runs for the Astros. And we all remember, I mean, he just was unconscious in both rounds, the division series and the league championship series. Sanders has driven in 8 runs already, and it has a grand slam. The fastball is too low. Reggie walked his first time up tonight. So Woody Williams, after a 26-pitch first inning, a high-stress inning, has now thrown 26 more in the second inning. 2 runs in, 3 men on. And that's a base hit down the left field line. Edmonds scores. Pujols scores. Stopping at third is Walker. It's a 2-run double for Reggie Sanders. He's got 10 RBIs in 3 games. It is 5-0 Cardinals.
I know it's going to sound strange, but the problem is Woody Williams is throwing the ball well. He's just missing his spot. That was supposed to be a fastball in, and he doesn't get it in enough. And Reggie Sanders just rips it to left field. And obviously the big mistake he made was hitting Larry Walker on an 0-2 pitch.
Well, that's all for Woody Williams. And it's got to be a bitter disappointment for Woody, the former Cardinal, charged with keeping his Padres alive in this series. But it's an early exit. Brian Lawrence comes on with runners at second and third. A very disappointing night for Woody Williams, 39-year-old right-hander and a former 18-game winner with the Cardinals. But tonight he lasts only 1 2/3 innings, and Reggie Sanders does it again. I mean, Reggie's getting a lot of opportunities, and he's making good on all of them. He's driven in 10 runs in 3 games. I mean, it's actually 2 games plus 2 innings. As Brian Lawrence comes on, you see his regular season numbers, the worst season of his big league career. Reggie Sanders has already established a National League Division Series record for RBIs. And it's only the 2nd inning of the 3rd game. That curveball in there for a strike to Grudzelanic. Grudzelanic is the 9th hitter of the inning. 4 runs are in for the Cardinals.
Well, the tough thing for Woody Williams to stomach is that he was throwing the ball well.
That breaking ball into center field. Dave Roberts out in the pretty deep center. And the inning is over. But 4 2-out runs scored. Reggie Sanders, 2 more batted in. Petco Park, the beautiful new home of the Padres. This is the 2nd year of baseball here. And in its first postseason game, St. Louis Cardinals making themselves right at home. They have a 5-0 lead. Ryan Klesko, the hitter, fouling one back and into the 2nd deck.
If you're the Padres, you know, you realize, say, oh, we're down 5-0, but we have a long way to go. We just got to try to peck away, get one here, get one there. And I think it's too early for Matt Morris to start thinking about trying to just get through some innings. So I think you'll see him pitch the same as he did in the 1st inning.
the screen. 2-2 the count now to Klesko. Ramon Hernandez and Robert Fick will follow. See in the Padre dugout there. No concern. Arms folded across the chest. 2-2 the count. That just missed.
Well, the one thing, again, I want to go back to Woody Williams. He was throwing the ball well, but he kept missing and getting into hitters' counts. I mean, the 2-0 pitch to Eckstein was right down the middle because he had to throw a strike after 2-0. A 3-0 pitch to Albert Pujols, but his main problem was he just could not get ahead of the hitters and use anything other than the fastball and the curve. He never threw a changeup the entire time he was out there.
Ryan Klesko gets on base. Reggie Sanders. He's had a grand slam, 2 two-run doubles, and a 2-run single in this series for 10 runs batted in. Hernandez, and that is a called strike. Sanders in the series has had 4 hits total. So every one of his hits have come with runners all over the bases. But I stress, he's been getting the hits, not popping up or hitting double play balls. Or, in fact, I mean, Reggie alone have been getting the kind of hits the Padres' entire team has been lacking in this series with all of those base runners that they've had.
I mean, everyone's questioning the calls at low pitch, especially. Both of the pitchers have questioned Dreckman on that call.
I think, I mean, when you're being very circumspect about the corners, as he is, I mean, you got to give that low pitch. Got a piece of it, fouling it off the catcher. 2-2 the count. And that was one thing that the umpires have been asked to do. You know, what, 3-4 years ago, they were asked to start calling that high strike. Well, on above the belt, and then this year they were asked to make it a point of calling that low strike.
Well, the point is, if both pitchers are questioning that same pitch, then that's the reason that I'm mentioning it.
3-2. Yeah, me too. Not that I'm disagreeing with the umpire.
Well, the pitchers have disagreed.
Yeah, we're just reporting that.
Yeah.
3-2 the count to Ramon Hernandez. There goes the runner, and that is ball 4.
And I like that from Bruce Bochy. He was staying out of the double play and putting some runners in motion. And as you can see there, now the Padres have a shot. I mean, you can't start playing safe when you're 5 runs down and down 2 games to none. You have to continue to play your game.
Well, now Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, goes out to the mound to talk to Morris. Now, Morris is a very passionate sort of individual, very emotional, and sometimes his emotions will get the best of him.
And especially when he thinks that he's been squeezed by the umpire, that seems to bother him even more.
Tomorrow, more division series action. The Braves or the Astros. The Astros are the chance to wrap it up. It could well be Tim Hudson on short rest for the Braves up against Brandon Backey. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern, noon Central on ESPN. The bunt. Now the sort of, wait a minute, the plate umpire called that he's calling him out. He called Fick out for apparently making contact with the ball outside of the batter's box. And the ball is dead. The runners will go back. And
well, Fick thinks it was a foul ball.
He doesn't know that he's out. He's heading back to home plate. Now the plate umpire there, Dreckman, tells him, no, you're out. Don't come back over here.
Well, let's see what happens here. Well, he's saying, I guess he made contact with the ball outside the batter's box.
Well, we see that.
Well, there is no batter's box drawn there. But obviously he was in front of the plate, but there's not a batter's box drawn on the field.
So Fick trying to beat out a bunt. And it was not going to work anyway.
No.
They were going to get the runner at third base easily. With the ball right out in front of the plate.
It would be the same situation.
So ball one to Khalil Green. Got a fastball to hit there. Pujols over to the seats. He's trying to climb in. And the ball is back into the second row.
Let's see if we can get a better look. See, that's what he did. He takes an extra step. See, his foot hits here. See, the line should continue right in here. That's where the batter's box ends. And you can see he is clearly, when his left foot hits the ground, it's out of the batter's box. That was a real running start.
I mean, when's the last time you saw that call made?
I haven't seen it. But he had a running start right there. Usually you take one step and you cross over. He took an extra step and then crossed over.
And Green fouls one out of play. Green was one of the leading RBI men for the Padres this year, even though he missed about a quarter of the season with injury, played only 121 games and yet drove in 70 runs.
Well, I think that's part of the reason that they struggle to be above 500 without a healthy Khalil Green and Mark Loretta.
That curveball popped up, foul, and that's out of play off to the right. 1-2 the count.
But they're two solid players that if they're in there every day, I think they make a big difference in this Padre lineup. Both offensively. I mean, they're both real good offensive players as well as good defensive players.
Joe Randa on deck. On, one man out. And that slider low and outside for a ball. 2-2. I mean, the Padres still looking for that big hit. They got 2 walks. They got 2 gifts from Matt Morris to start the inning, and there was Fick. I mean, I have to believe Fick was bunting for a hit.
Yeah, no doubt it was a base. He was running for a base hit. That's why he ran out of the box. It wasn't a sacrifice. He was trying to dump one down the third baseline.
Now, if you're his manager, are you happy to see him try to drop down a bunt?
Well, I wouldn't mind. I don't, personally, I wouldn't mind because I think if you have to score some runs, you have to try to get one here, one there, whatever.
And Khalil Green down on strikes. A 93-mile-an-hour heater on the outside. Nice pitch.
I mean, when you're down 5 runs, you just try to do the best you can. That's a perfect pitch on the outside corner from Matt Morris.
Khalil Green back to the bat rack. So the Padres getting base runners, but then not getting the big hit. And it all too familiar lament for the Padres in this series. Curveball a little bit high. Ball 1 to Joe Randa.
And remember, during the regular season, they hit 260 with runners in scoring position. And that's one of the reasons that's one of the big differences between these two teams.
Here comes Edmonds. He's there. And that is the inning. They had 2 on, nobody out. Both on gifts, 2 walks, and then nothing. 5-0, St. Louis. The National League Division Series, or as this one has turned into, the Reggie Sanders Series. Reggie breaks out.
The other Reggie.
Yeah. Reggie Sanders. And they were chanting Reggie in St. Louis back in game 1 when he drove in 6 runs. Abraham Nunez leads off for the Cardinals here in the 3rd. Hitting 7 in the order. He struck out his first time, facing Brian Lawrence. And Lawrence is a real finesser. I mean, this year, that fastball, it was all too often maybe 82, 83 miles an hour. There's an 84-mile-an-hour fastball, but everything moves. But he did not throw very hard. Nunez, Yadier Molina, Matt Morris coming up. And there's Mark Loretta. Nunez is out number 1 here in the 3rd. 5-0, the Cardinals lead. Yadier Molina, who singled his first time. His single with one out in the second inning actually was the beginning of the 4-run rally. Houston beat Atlanta today. Back of Roy Oswalt, who got the best of Jorge Sosa. The Astros lead that series 2-1. They can clinch tomorrow right here on ESPN at 1 o'clock Eastern Time, noon Central, from Minute Maid Park in Houston. The Yankees and Angels got rained out today in New York. Backing up for the true hop, and the throw by Randa. Out number 2. Molina retired.
Well, this is what the Padres need. They need someone to come in, get them some quick outs so that they can get right back at Matt Morris. And again, it's only the 3rd inning. I mean, it seems like things are in dire straits for the Padres because they have struggled in this series, but you can always score some runs. One here, one there. You're just not going to be able to get them all back at once. And we saw that with the Yankees last night, although the Yankee lineup is obviously different from this one.
And the sidearm spinner in there for a called strike to Morris. And one of the ironies is that Matt Morris and a lot of these Cardinal pitchers in particular are very good friends with Woody Williams. They all describe him as a great teammate. Chris Carpenter told me before the game that he thinks Woody Williams is the reason that he's a Cardinal. Coming hard, Roberts, but he can't get there, and Matt Morris has himself a single to center. Remember, Walt Jocketty and the Cardinals signed Chris Carpenter even though he was recovering from surgery. And Carpenter had been a teammate of Woody Williams when he first came up in the Blue Jays organization, and they were very good friends. There's Walt Jocketty sitting with Mark McGuire here at Petco Park. Anyway, Carpenter said that Williams was then with the Cardinals and put in a word with Jocketty, saying, hey, getting Carpenter could be a good move. And now Carpenter, they not only got him, but Carpenter's become the ace of the staff. David Eckstein. Eckstein singled and scored a run in the first inning, and then he hit a 2-run homer in the third inning that made it 3-0. So he's hitting .364 in this series. Down the left field line. That's hooking foul right into and out of the hands of a fan down there.
Well, he got a 2-0 pitch right down the middle, and he was able to pull it. He was sitting on the fastball, and he pulled it right down the line. And the ball will go out of this ballpark if you pull it down either line. And that's exactly what Eckstein did on that swing, right down the line.
Hit it right to the front porch of the Western Metal Supply Company. Foul tip into the glove, strike 3. Tough pitch there from Brian Lawrence. One man left, 5-0 score. We go to the last of the third. Headed by Budweiser as Matt Morris throws ball 1 to the pinch hitter, Sean Burrows, batting for Brian Lawrence. Burrows into right center field, hit pretty well, but there is Edmonds, and 1 away.
Edmonds got an excellent jump on that ball.
Edmonds says he enjoys playing in this ballpark because there's so much room out there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, center fielders love to run down, give him some room to run down drives. See how quickly he's going? He was going, the moment that ball struck the bat, he was off, and that's why it made it such an easy catch.
1 down. Here's Dave Roberts, the leadoff man. Grounded out to second his first time. And that fastball for a called strike to Roberts. Roberts was in the lineup for game 1. He's had 1 hit in 5 at-bats in the series. Very close to being the same pitch there, but taken by Roberts for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. See how I just said very close. Yeah. Not exactly the same pitch. But the first one was a strike. That one was a ball. And that one is a ground ball to Grunzelanic. Hit very hard by Roberts, but into an out. 2 men gone. 5-0. The Cardinals lead here in the third.
Well, this ball was hit very sharply, a one-hopper. Well, he made it look a little more difficult than it should have been, but still gets him out.
That ball was hit so hard, it hit his glove and spun him around.
Okay. I'll buy that.
Now that's a hard hit ball. 2 down, Loretta, and that's a little bit low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, it seems like everywhere we go, it's 5-0 early in the game.
Immediately. Yeah.
Although that lead did not last long for the Angels last night at Yankee Stadium. Back to Morris. And a very quiet inning. On to the 4th inning. Jim Edmonds, Albert Pujols, Larry Walker. The power coming up after an 8-pitch. Petco Park, San Diego. The Cardinals lead the Padres 5-0 heading to the 4th inning. Now let's go downstairs to Gary Miller.
John, I'm here with a guy who's enjoying the game so far. George Morris, Matt Morris's dad. And like us, John and Joe, he came all the way from the East Coast to the New York area to get out here. It was worth the trip so far, hasn't it been?
Absolutely. Wouldn't miss it for the world.
Now, this is your first time at this ballpark. Obviously, the first time they've had a postseason game here, but you were there for all the run last year that unfortunately ended in 4 games. What do you think is going to be different this time around, George?
Well, I think we're going to go all the way. I think we got the club that can go all the way. Especially, I noticed in the clubhouse, we got that cohesiveness that I think you need to go all the way.
How different is it? Last year, Matt was struggling. He had worn down. He really wasn't himself. He would admit that. Did you know that when you were watching him in the postseason last October?
Well, we knew something wasn't right. Even Matt didn't know what. You know, we tried to figure it out. Of course, everybody's got the answer, but he struggled. He battled through it. He's a real gamer, and I'm proud of that.
George, about the makeup of this Cardinal team and what Matt means to them. I mean, obviously, you grew up in New York. I see you here in all the St. Louis gear. How long did it take you to become a diehard Cardinal fan?
It took me about 2 minutes after the phone call when he got drafted in the #1 spot, the first round, and that was in 1995. And from then on, I've been a diehard Cardinal fan.
Just one more quickie. I know you got your wife here and Matt's wife here as well. What's a day like for the family on a day when Matt's pitching?
It's torture, especially when it's so late at night. You know, we try to keep ourselves occupied. We went on a trolley tour of San Diego today, so I mean that's how bad things got for us. But it was fun, and we leave Matt alone, let him do his thing. He likes to sleep as late as he can, so and hopefully he's got his game together tonight. We can come out with a win.
Okay, best of luck, George.
Thank
John?
you very much.
Gary, many thanks, and thanks to Matt Morris's dad as Jim Edmonds strikes out here against the new Padres pitcher, the rookie right-handed 26-year-old Clay Hensley. Hensley on for Lawrence. Hensley is the 3rd pitcher of the game for the Padres, and he gets thrown right into the fire. Edmonds, Pujols, and Walker, the hitters coming up. And Sanders would be due up 4th. And there's a sinking fastball for a strike to Albert Pujols.
Well, Hensley's a guy that had good stuff, John. He throws the ball really well. You can see he had a 1.70 earned run average. But, you know, I talked to him before the game in the locker room, and he was just excited to be here. This is his first year, and now he's in the playoff. He was hoping he'd get a chance to pitch. He was probably hoping in a little different situation, but he's one of the guys that's really enjoying being in the playoffs. And that's one of the things I think a lot of times players overlook. You know, you're supposed to enjoy the playoffs. You're supposed to enjoy playing in the playoffs. Sure, there's a certain amount of pressure to win, but you're supposed to enjoy the experience.
Well, for instance, Reggie Sanders.
Yeah.
I think if you were to ask Reggie,
he's enjoying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He's really having a good time. And Albert Pujols, I think he enjoys himself every single day, playoffs or otherwise. Khalil Green throws him out. That's the first time that Albert has been retired tonight. He had an RBI double to knock in the first run of the game in the first inning.
And typically he hits the ball hard.
But right within the range of Khalil Green. Good look at the 3-tiered ballpark here, Petco Park. Double deck out in right field and left field, plus the the building down the left field line, the Western Metal Supply Company, which they covered up part of that with a banner which now reads Western Division Champs. That's an old 19th century building, part of the history of the downtown area. Backhanded by Loretta, and Walker is down, and that's a very strong inning. I think a lot of fun for Clay Hensley. You hit one up there in that building, that's a home run. Giles, Klesko, Hernandez, three of the Padres' biggest hitters coming up. Begins with NFL Primetime presented by Miller Lite tomorrow at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Sunday night football on ESPN. Brian Giles fouling one. He'll be followed by Klesko and then Hernandez. The big hook from Matt Morris, and it's 0-2. Matt Morris has pitched some excellent games in Division Series play, but it always seems to happen that he pitches a great one, and the guy pitching against him pitches one just as great or even better. Right to the second baseman, Grudzielanek. And there's one away. Notice there have been a lot of ground balls by these left-handed hitters right to Grudzielanek tonight.
Well, that one didn't knock him over, though. That one's okay.
Well, Dave Roberts, of all people, spun him around when it went so hard at him. So Matt Morris looking to be in great form so far. Here's Ryan Klesko, who walked his first time. And that's a foul out of play off to the left. I mean, you know, the Padres, they got a break in the second inning right after the Cardinals took a 5-0 lead, and Matt Morris walked the first two hitters of the inning. But then Robert Fick tried to bunt his way aboard. But you've got to stay in the batter's box when you try and lay down a bunt. And he ran. I mean, there's something you hear a broadcaster say. I mean, I've heard it.
Yeah, he runs up the bunt.
Yeah, he runs up to bunt. I mean, he literally, like he was going to run the 100-yard dash on that bunt. That is strike three call. Klesko has a few words with Bruce Dreckman before he goes back. 2 down. And the Morris family thought that one was right in there. And there's his dad reacting to it. Yeah, right there. Are you kidding? Ramon Hernandez. He walked his first time. Curveball for a strike.
And that's the key pitch for Matt Morris, and he's had a good curveball this entire ball game. He's been able to throw it for a strike whenever he wants to.
And a foul out of play off to the right. So it's 0-2 to Hernandez. I mean, Matt Morris is really settling in. He just got through the third inning on 8 pitches, and he's only thrown 8 so far here in the fourth inning. All strikes in this inning until now.
Well, I think the problem the Padres had is that they let him off the hook, so to speak. I mean, this guy had not won his last 7 starts, so his confidence level wasn't real high. Now he's building confidence because he's having success.
Curveball in the dirt outside, almost as if saying, I'm back.
Yeah, well, he gave him an opportunity to get back into the game in the second inning, and they couldn't move either runner after he walked the first 2. Neither runner moved another base.
Ramon Hernandez, 2 down. His slider low and outside. 3-2.
From 0-2 to 3-2. And this, you know, I like, because now I think he was rushing, trying to finish off the inning. Now he takes a walk back behind the mound and says, okay, let's start all over and finish this thing.
3-2. And he walks him. The sinker that ran down and in. So Hernandez walked for the second time. Now, if this series were to go to a 4th game tomorrow, Adam Eaton is to be the starter with the Padres. And when this inning is over, after the Padres have finished their at-bats, whenever that might be, we're going to visit with Adam Eaton from the Padre dugout. There's Adam. Robert Fick, who tried that bunt, but he was outside the batter's box when he actually put Wood to ball. Wood to Horsehide. Is this still Horse? It's Cowhide. Wood to Cowhide. And was called out by the plate umpire, Bruce Dreckman. That ball is hit high in the air to right field. Walker back, but it's very big out there, and on the warning track, the inning is over. In 60 seconds, we'll chat with Adam Eaton. Padres starting pitcher from the dugout. Reggie Sanders coming up for the Cardinals. Back here in San Diego, the Cardinals are leading 5-0 as we head to the top of the 5th inning. Reggie Sanders coming up, and we're pleased to be joined by San Diego right-hander Adam Eaton, 27-year-old right-hander. And Adam, many thanks for coming on with us.
No problem, guys. Thanks for having me.
Adam, this is Joe Morgan. From up here, it appeared that Woody Williams had good stuff, but what was the problem?
I just think just not getting them out. You know, obviously they were hitting it to where we weren't, and you know, just looking at the replay that Pujols hit the ball. You know, 3-0 count, 2-0 count, whatever it was. That pitch was, you know, it looked like it was on the corner and down and away, but you know, he's in such a good zone right now to try to drive that ball to right center, and that's what he did. You know, just you know, second inning, just a game of circumstance. You know, do the right play by walking Pujols and then getting 0-2, and then you know, just throwing a curveball that ends up hitting Walker, and then you got probably their hottest hitter, and Reggie Sanders coming up next, and you know, kind of put a good swing on us and hit that double for 2 RBIs. But just a little circumstances just haven't been working our way, and it's kind of a story first 2 games. But hopefully we can, you know, we got 15 outs here to make some changes.
Hey, Adam, I know that you had some problems with an injury with one or two of your fingers, and it gave you a hard time throwing a breaking ball. How is that right now?
It's good to go. You know, obviously it took a little bit while, took a lot longer than we thought initially to heal, but you know, right now it's not an issue really, and just I'm able to throw a slider and a curveball with no pain, and having that same break that I had early in the year. Right, and
what's the mood in the dugout? I mean, kind of a downer. You fell behind 5 runs early on in this ball game.
Well, it's just kind of, you know, obviously we have 15 outs to kind of make some adjustments, and hopefully we can get you know, Morris out there, kind of break up that rhythm that he's in right now. It looks like he's you know, he's a fast worker, and that's what he's doing right now. And right now we just got to take a deep breath and work these next 5 innings. Yeah, and we have seen your ball club come from 5 runs or more behind this year, not so long ago. Not so long ago, exactly. Obviously, we you know, we came back and hit a grand slam, and then having Ramon hit a grand slam in the 9th inning by Khalil, and then Ramon hit a 3-run homer to win it, you know, in extra innings. Can't remember who it was against, but it was Washington. Washington, exactly, off of Cordero. You know, one of the best closers in the game right now. Well, Adam, many thanks for coming on with us. No problem. Thanks for having me. All right, Reggie Sanders with a deep fly ball to right, caught by Brian Giles back there. Reggie didn't hit it quite close enough to the foul line to take advantage of the short porch out there, and he is retired. Again, many thanks to Adam Eaton. If there is a game 4 tomorrow, he's in there as a starter for the Padres. And Joe, right there we saw one of the peculiarities of this ballpark. You got that little area, like a little box that comes out from the foul line and makes it a very friendly home run. And look what happens at the left side of that box. It just shoots back, and it's very deep, Fenway-like, maybe 20, 30 feet off the foul pole. Strike 1 to Mark Grudzielanek. Look at that, and all of a sudden it's 370 feet to the wall back there, and it gets very deep in a hurry out there. And that, coupled with the fact that at nighttime, especially when the marine layer comes in off the coast, the ball just doesn't seem to carry well here anyway. Grudzielanek 0 for 2 in the game, and that curveball in there for a strike. Abraham Nunez on deck. 1 out, nobody on here in the 5th. Still 0-2. We're at Petco Park in San Diego, and there's the park in the park out beyond center field. That's you have to have a ticket to the ball game to get in out there, and a lot of families go out, spread their blankets or beach towels, and watch the game from out there with the kids. That's a base hit for Grudzielanek. Now let's go to the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update with John Buccigross.
Thank you, John. SportsCenter's on after the game, by the way. Astros beat the Braves 7-3. Mike Lamb, big home run in the 3rd to give the Astros the lead. Roy Oswalt pitched well. The Astros can clinch tomorrow. And Tiger 2 shots behind John Daly, who shot his 3rd straight 67 today. Tiger shot 68. He's tied for 3rd. Again, details on SportsCenter after the game. The ESPN News right now.
Right, John. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Gary Miller downstairs with us. We're at Petco Park in San Diego. 5-0. The Cardinals trying to win and move on. And that one is past the diving Robert Fick into right field. It's a base hit for Nunez. And heading for third and into third is Grudzielanek.
Well, you get the hole on the right side and you take advantage of it if you're a good left-handed hitter. A breaking ball that he can pull easily, and he pulls it in the hole. Fick makes a dive, but he can't come up with it. Grudzielanek hustling all the way, makes it to third base easily, and Giles keeps the ball down low enough at least it could be cut off, and he holds the runner at first base. That keeps the double play in order.
So here is Yadier Molina. Abraham Nunez. He had been with the Pittsburgh Pirates as a utility player. He dives back to the bag. He never had a batting average in any season in the big leagues better than 262. Last year hit 236. But this year became more than a utility player. He became the everyday third baseman with the injury to Scott Rowland, and he hit 285. Nunez seemed to see that one coming. He got back to first base. Grudzielanek over at third. The middle infielders double play down. Good sinker there from Hensley.
Well, Hensley has good stuff. I mean, low earned run average indicates that he throws strikes, keeps the ball down.
Hensley, actually a product of the San Francisco Giants farm system, acquired by the Padres in a deal that sent Matt Hergis to the Giants a couple of years ago. Those deals tend to be announced, and it's, you know, the big league player Matt Hergis to the Giants for a minor leaguer. And Hensley obviously was a guy that the Padres thought had some real potential, and here he is. 47 2/3 innings pitched this year in the big leagues, and only 33 hits allowed. Heading for second base is Nunez, and he's daring him to throw down there. So stealing second is Nunez.
Now, this is interesting because Nunez takes off like it's hit and run, then he slows down, inviting a throw and hoping that Hernandez would throw it away.
So now the infield comes in. The pitcher, Matt Morris, is on deck. 1-2 to Molina. And keeping that ball down, fouled by Molina. There's Matt Morris, the pitcher, on deck. Padres down by 5. Molina, for the whole season, hit 252, but he hit 330 in spots like this. And that's a base hit. Grudzielanek scores. Nunez right behind him. The throw goes in towards second. And Yadier Molina with his second hit of the night. And the Molinas are tearing it up on both coasts right now.
And that was excellent hitting. I mean, a fastball away after throwing a breaking ball down there. Look at this. I mean, that's just, he just reaches out, doesn't try to pull it. Look at that. He's going the other way all the way. And he finds the right field line for 2 more RBIs, and now the Cardinals are safely in front.
Matt Morris showing bunt, taking a strike. 7-0 St. Louis. The National League Championship Series would begin on Wednesday, and if the Cardinals win this series, it will begin in St. Louis against either Atlanta or Houston. Houston right now, with their win tonight, with a 2-1 advantage over Atlanta. Morris once at it and fouls it, or maybe just missed it. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Now, one of the things, you know, I talked to Tony La Russa about today was, you know, whether he thinks that the wild card should be penalized more and more given to the team with the best record in the league. And I've always said that they should. I still believe that they should have a 2-1-2 kind of first series playoff with the best team in the league with the best record, obviously having that advantage. And Tony basically agrees that the wild card team is not penalized enough in this situation the way it is now.
Hensley to Loretta covering at first base. And Molina has been moved up. That is out number 2 now. 2 down, and Eckstein is coming up. Padres with only 7 runs in the series. The Cardinals have now scored 21 times in this series, 26 hits. They've had 7 runs and 10 hits tonight. They've out-hit the Padres tonight 10-0 and outscored them 7-0. Eckstein has a single and a 2-run homer. Well, Tony, he did warm to your idea, the 2-1-2 idea in the first round. And that's only, you're only talking about the 2-1-2 concept. 2 home games, 1 road game, and then back home for 2 more.
Yeah, if
it's the wild card.
Yeah, if the wild card and you have the best record in the league, you get to face the wild card.
We get that advantage against the wild card team.
Yeah, and the reason, the other point is, you know, there has been suggestion that they have a bye the first round, the guy that the team with the best record. That doesn't work because players do not want to have 2 or 3 days off, you know, before they start the playoff. Everyday players want to play every day, at least 2 or 3 days in a row before they have an off day.
But now, for instance, the White Sox clinched the division series yesterday at Fenway Park, so they've got today, tomorrow, and Monday, 3 days off.
I agree, but I think what's going to happen is, I think if you talk to the White Sox hitters, they're going to tell you they're not as sharp as they were at the end of that series with Boston.
And they've been sharp for a while now.
Yeah, and you cannot simulate the games in between.
Darren Balsley, the pitching coach, goes out to the mound now to counsel the rookie Clay Hensley. And the Padres have some activity going in their bullpen again. They are down 7-0 here in the 5th inning. It looks like Rudy Seañez warming up, and that's who it is. Fans join Major League Baseball in its efforts to rebuild the Gulf Coast. Support Habitat for Humanity by calling 1-800-HABITAT or by logging on to MLB.com or logging on to habitat.org. The kids have their own pretend beach out there behind the right field fence. And Jim Edmonds is taken care of there by Robert Fick, and the inning is over. Edmonds is 1 for 4. 2 runs, 3 hits. When we come back in 1 minute, we'll visit with Tony La Russa from the Cardinal dugout. Back with Tony in 60. National League Division Series, the Cardinals leading here in Game 3, 7-0, last of the 5th inning. Tony La Russa joins us now from the St. Louis dugout. Tony, welcome to ESPN.
Thank you.
Hey, Tony, we all saw Mark Mulder get hit the other day. What does that do to your rotation going forward now?
Well, the only 4 we want to do is get the outs from the 5th to the 9th. But he was much improved today.
All right, but he could not pitch tomorrow if you had a game tomorrow.
No, if we, you know, this series could go through Monday, he would not be able to pitch anymore in this series.
All right. And, I mean, right now, everything looks pretty sweet for the Cardinals.
Don't take anything for granted in this game or you get spanked.
All right. And, hey, your book, was it 3 Nights in August? Doing well?
Yeah, it's doing all right.
All right. And they're all for a good cause.
Good cause.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're going to let you get back to work, Tony.
Thank you.
Tony La Russa. You know, it's funny when you talk to him, it's a 7-0 game.
Well, but I understand his point. It's
deep into center field. Edmonds way back there and jumps up and makes the catch, slams into the wall, bounces off, and he's still holding that baseball. And Khalil Green is retired with a long, long fly ball.
Well, Jim Edmonds has a sore right shoulder, but unfortunately for him, it's his left shoulder that bangs against the wall. And this is why he wins Gold Gloves. He knows exactly where he is, and he bangs the wall with his left shoulder. Look, he takes a look at the wall to see how close he's getting to it, and then he makes the play.
He's won some Gold Gloves out there for his proficiency. And there's a called strike to Joe Randa. Matt Morris on the mound, reacting to that catch by Edmonds. 1-1 the count. A little bloop along the left field line. That's going to fall, base hit. Randa's going to dig for second. And he's in there with a double.
And that's the first base hit of this ball game for the San Diego Padres. The Cardinals have 10 hits, and now the Padres have their first base hit here in the 5th inning.
So there will be no duplication of the feat that occurred 49 years ago today in a World Series. A game that was pitched by somebody from here, Don Larson. The only no-hitter in World Series history, or for that matter, in any postseason game. Postseason has been expanded since the playoffs were added in front of the World Series. Now Eric Young, the pinch hitter, for Clay Hensley, the pitcher. Young has a home run in this series for the Padres, the only home run the Padres have had. And that's going to be fouled out of play off to the right.
Well, his home run came in a losing cause in game 1. They were down, and he led off the inning with a home run as a pinch hitter.
As a pinch hitter, that's right. He ended up driving in 2 runs in that game. Oh, man, that was a knee buckler. Curved ball for a strike. 1-2 the count.
Well, we talked about Matt Morrison having a good curveball, and he's had it tonight, and he's been able to control it very well.
To the right side, diving Grudzielanek, can't get it. It's a base hit. Randa's heading home. Here comes a throw by Walker. It's offline, and the Padres have a run.
Well, good job of hitting there by Eric Young. I mean, it's a sinker away, and he just reaches out and pokes it to right field. And it's a very defensive swing, but he puts the ball in play. And you can see Grudzielanek is playing up the middle, and he can't get over in time to get the ground ball. And Walker keeps the throw down, holds Young at first.
So Eric Young with his second pinch hit and RBI as a pinch hitter in the series. Roberts is thrown out by Grudzielanek. Grudzielanek decided not to get fancy with a big lead.
Well, the last thing you want to do is try to make the difficult play when you're ahead by 6 runs. You make them earn their way back into this ball game. And you always trade them out for a base when you're this far ahead.
It's all about getting outs.
Yeah.
Here is Loretta. He has flied out to shallow right center and hit a comebacker. He's 0 for 2. Curveball in there. Strike 1. 7-1. The Cardinals lead the Padres here in the 5th. There's a runner out there in scoring position. Loretta last year, he was always the guy in the spot like this that the Padres wanted up. I mean, he just had a huge year. But he has not been the same hitter this year. Missed a very large portion of the season with an injury. And not the same hitter since coming back from that injury. He hit .335 with 16 homers and 47 doubles last year. High fly ball. Walker in foul ground. Can't get it.
Oh,
and he
man.
flips right over the wall out there.
And that's the guy with a lot of injuries already to his neck, his body. When he flips over, he seems to be okay. But, man. Walker's chasing it. He thinks he has a chance, but then he runs into the wall. And it looked like he went over the wall trying to protect himself right there. And he was holding on, but he still flipped over. Wow. And he's had neck injuries and shoulder injuries. I mean, and obviously that won't help. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if we do not see Tony La Russa take him out of the ball game.
Curve ball in the dirt to Loretta. 2-2 the count. Well, when this ballpark first opened, that wall down there in the right field corner was about half the height that it is now. As you see that very nice block by Yadier Molina. You see the padded part of the wall. That was the only wall that there was out there. And fortunately, after a couple of exhibition games here, they added more height to that wall. That's a line drive base hit to left field. Young will come around to score. So Mark Loretta delivers. It is 7-2 St. Louis.
Well, Morris tried to get him out with a curveball. He missed it, so he comes inside with a fastball. And a good job of hitting by Loretta. He just reacts to the ball inside with his hands and pulls it to left field for a base hit. And Eric Young scores easily from second base with 2 outs.
Now Brian Giles. And Giles is the guy. And this is a spot where you start thinking, well, see if Giles could pop one here, this gets a lot more interesting. But he's the guy, but he only hit 15 home runs this year. That's back out of play. 1 ball, 1 strike. He hit one well in the first inning on the 10th pitch of the sequence. Dave McKay is on the phone to the bullpen, which for the Cardinals is right along that right field line where Walker almost flipped a header. That is over the outside corner. 1 ball and 2 strikes now. Giles grounded out to second his last time up there. He is 0 for 2 in the game. 2 runs in for the Padres, but they are still trailing by 5. Off the outside. And the Cardinal bullpen busy with Brad Thompson, a right-hander, getting ready. Matt Morris has thrown 78 pitches in the game. That one sinks too low. Full count now, 3-2.
Seems like every time Giles goes to bat, the count ends up 3-2.
There goes Loretta. That's a base hit. And Loretta will go to third. Sanders throws into second. And now Klesko comes up. And Klesko is the home run leader for the Padres this year. And Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, out to talk to Morris.
Well, 3 balls, 2 strikes, fastball away, and Giles goes the other way with it. And that puts runners at first and third.
Matt Morris had a no-hitter coming into the 5th inning and a 7-run lead. But the Padres have hit several balls very hard in this inning. Remember, the inning started when Khalil Green clobbered one that turned into a great catch, a leaping catch by Jim Edmonds at the center field wall. Then Randa hit a double. Eric Young singled him home. After Roberts grounded out, Loretta got an RBI single. Now Giles has hit a single. So Ryan Klesko. He has walked and been called out on strikes. Right on the outside corner, strike 1.
Nice pitch by Morris. He wants to stay away from Klesko's power. So he just nails the outside corner with a good fastball.
Off the outside that time. Well, Klesko is a big, strong guy. He's had a 30-plus home run year in his career. He's not hit many since moving into this park. He does have success in the pass against Morris. That one off his leg. A cutter right into the hands.
Well, he went away twice. Now he's going inside under the hands, and Klesko fouls it. You can see he's got his shin guard on the inside of his foot, his leg. Most guys have it right straight up and down. His is on the inside, and you could see that was there for the protection of that particular pitch.
Is behind in the count to Morris. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Curveball. Foul. Right past Davey Lopes, the first base coach for the Padres. There's Davey Lopes. He's one of the great base stealers in the game for many years.
And remember that Dodger infield that stayed together for so long. Ron Cey, Bill Russell, Steve Garvey.
1 and 2. High and tight.
Well, fastball up.
Loretta at third, Giles at first, 2 down. Got a piece of it, fouling it straight back. Challenged him on that one.
Well, he challenged him with a high fastball, and they think Klesko is more of a low fastball hitter.
Loretta over at third. Giles with Pujols over there at first. And another fastball up and away. Lofted foul into the second deck off the third base side. And Matt Morris. 26 pitches here in a laborious 5th inning. The battle continues with Klesko on the hands, and that will go back out of play.
Well, so far after 2 strikes, Morris has been able to keep him off balance by going inside and away. He's not allowing Klesko to have a good swing at the pitch with 2 strikes. Everything is in or on the outside edge.
This is the 9th pitch coming up in this battle. Struck him out. Took something off on that pitch and got him. So the Padres have to be content with just the 2. Now the big hitters, Albert Pujols, Larry Walker, Reggie Sanders coming up. 7-2 Cardinals. Strikeout, which is just what Matt Morris got after a long battle with Ryan Klesko to end the Padres 5th inning. And now new pitchers come on for San Diego. Rudy Seañez, and he had a very strong season. Look at those strikeouts, 84 strikeouts in 60 and the 3rd innings. And a slider in there for a strike to Albert Pujols. Pujols drove in the first run to again put the Cardinals ahead. Padres have never led in this series. That was back in the first on a 3-0 pitch. He had an RBI double to deep right center. That one drops too low. 2-1. Then he was walked intentionally in the second and scored a run. Grounded out to short and hit the ball hard in the 4th inning.
Well, one thing the Padres did is at least they made a dent on Matt Morris. Not only did they get their first base hit, but they got a couple of runs, and I think that's important. I mean, you still have 12 outs to go. You're just going to have to try to make up those 5 runs in that stretch, but it's going to be up to the pitchers to hold them right there. If they could have, if it was 5-2 now, you'd obviously feel like you had a better chance. The 2 runs they gave up at the top of the 5th really hurt them.
Yadier Molina, a 2-run single to knock those 2 runs in the 5th. Wow, that was a slider, and he drilled it into the gap toward the 4-0-2 sign out there. Klesko plays it off the wall, and a double for Albert Pujols. He's 2 for 3 in the game.
Well, the one thing about this that fools him a little bit, watch, see, he's out in front. See, his body's kind of gone. His hips are open, but he keeps the bat back. That's the key. The bat stays back, even though his body is off balance. You could see that the bat was back, and he just rips it up the gap in left center field. I mean, that's the sign of a really good hitter. He fooled him, yet he kept the bat back.
Albert is now 5 for 9 in this series. He's had 2 doubles tonight. Walker coming up, and let's go downstairs to Gary Miller.
John, Larry Walker's been shaving his head for a while, but you won't see him shave his face again until the Cardinals are eliminated. Last year he had the lucky handshake, and as he put it, it didn't quite work out. If they don't win it all, he's not going to be satisfied. Now he's gotten some other brethren in with this non-shaving thing. The guy on deck, Reggie Sanders, obviously it's worked out very well for him. Mark Grizzolonic has joined in, Jason Isringhausen. But it's kind of a hockey thing and a throwback to his native Canada. That's what they do in the playoffs, so he's hoping it works out better this time around.
So when they get to the playoffs, they don't shave in the Stanley Cup playoffs? And that's a foul by Walker. I mean, Gretzky always looked very close-shaven to me.
Well, let me look at it this way. Those hockey players, they want to be rough and tough.
And then, you know, Walker chasing that foul ball hit by Loretta. Can look like a hockey player going into the boards. 0-2 the count to Walker, who's 0 for 2 and had been hit by a pitch tonight. And that's a foul tip into the glove, strike 3. He just tried to fight that one off and couldn't do it.
A good fastball tailing away. I think he was looking for something off speed or in, and he pitched it away and just kind of waves at it. Not the Larry Walker that we're accustomed to seeing tonight.
Well, look out. Here's Reggie Sanders with a runner in scoring position again. Seems like Reggie has gotten a hit every time he's come up in a spot like this in this series. 10 runs batted in. The all-time record for any division series, which is the American League Division Series record for RBIs, John Valentin of the Red Sox, 1999, drove in 12 runs. Sanders already is the National League Division Series record holder. 10 runs batted in this series, and this is just the 3rd game. Beltran had 9 last year for the Astros.
That was a 5-game series.
Yeah, it went all the way to 5. And it's a foul. 1 ball, 1 strike to Reggie. Now, Reggie only has 4 hits in the series, but all 4 of them have knocked in runs. He's only been getting hits in spots like this. A grand slam, 2 2-run doubles, including the 2nd inning tonight, and a 2-run single in game 1. Remember, he finished up the year. He had 10 RBIs the last 6 games of the regular season. With slider. And here's Giles. Pujols tags up and bluffs. And Giles throws in behind him near second base to Khalil Green. Not this time for Reggie.
John, you know, last Sunday, Tuesday, after we started this series in St. Louis, and Jerry Lane's crew was there, the same crew that's with this group now, and they wanted me to say hello to Paul Runge, who was one of their former crew members who had been ill, and now he's, you know, has been recovering here in San Diego. He lives in San Diego, and I talked to him on the phone, and he sounded great. He said everything was going great. So Jerry wanted me to remind me to say hello to him again, and so I'm saying hello to you, Paul. Paul was also one of my teammates in the minor leagues before he became a major league umpire.
That ball is hit hard by Grudzielanek, left center, but there is Klesko. All right, Joe Morgan trying to get friendly with the umpires after all these years. Game 3 of the National League Division Series, the Cardinals and the Padres, presented by Budweiser. We're at Petco Park in St. Louis, and let's take a look at the pitching summary brought to you by Yellow Book. And on this night, pitching the real story, Matt Morris. He's been excellent, although Padres finally put 2 on the board against him in the 5th inning. But Woody Williams, his former teammate and good friend, did not last long in this game. Only 1 2/3 innings and charged with 5 runs. 7-2 St. Louis. Here is Ramon Hernandez, and the count is 0-1. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. We're at Petco Park in St. We had the greatest job. The I know you
second best.
You keep saying that.
Yeah, it's the second.
I can't. For me, it's the best job.
Yeah. Well, it's the second best. I mean, if I had my choice, I'd still be on the field. So that's the best.
So the best job was being the second baseman on the Big Red Machine?
Yeah, that's the best job.
All right. How about being the second baseman on the Houston Astros in the 60s?
That was the best job. All of those are the best job between the white lines.
How about being the second baseman for the Wheeze Kids? That was pretty good, huh?
Yeah, all those are good.
That's a base hit for Ramon Hernandez. But, I mean, last night we're at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And out here, one night later, we're on the other side of the country, this beautiful new yard of the San Diego Padres.
Oh, I agree. It's great. I mean, as the old saying goes, if you have to work, this is a great job. but if you're playing baseball, they don't say work ball, they say play ball. So if you're down on the field, you're playing.
Although we'd have a hard time convincing anybody about how much we're working. Yeah. The working was getting from Yankee Stadium to here. That's when we did the work. One strike to count to Robert Fick. He was thrown out when he tried to bunt in the second inning, but he wasn't in the batter's box when he made contact with the ball. So he was called out. Flied out deep to right as last time. And hits a foul off the left field side into the second deck. 0-2 the count. And the Cardinals have the bullpen going again, just in case, as Morris starts to climb toward 100 pitches in this game. Let's see, not hit real hard. They get one at second. Back to first. Off the glove of Pujols and out of play.
I don't know exactly what happened there because I thought Pujols was going to catch that. A nice feed by second baseman Grazzolani. Well, Eckstein's throw is a little high, but I thought Pujols was going to come down with it. That's a perfect feed, a little backhand. Well, one of the reasons Eckstein threw over the runner, and so the ball was a little high.
And because the ball
went into the dugout,
Fick is awarded second base. So Hernandez out at second. Fick safe on the foreside, goes to second on the error charge to Eckstein. And with a runner in scoring position, Khalil Green will try and pick up the RBI here. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan, and 7-2. And the Padres, I mean, they got to get this guy home now.
Yeah, I mean, if they don't score something here, it's going to be very difficult because remember, the bullpen is set up for the Cardinals, and they have Isenhausen as their closer. So you try to score before you get to the late inning relievers, because those are the best. The last two relievers are always going to be the best relievers coming out of the bullpen.
So it's already getting late for the Padres. It got late in the second inning.
Yeah.
When the Cardinals go to 5-0 lead.
And the part that still astonishes me is, like I said, Woody Williams was throwing the ball well, but he kept missing on 1-0 pitches and whatever, and kept getting behind 2-0. And when you get behind, you know, good hitters, you give them so many shots at you, they're going to take advantage of you eventually, and that's exactly what happened. Pujols took advantage of him, and so did David Eckstein.
Green with a foul. Back out of play. Yeah, the first run of the game, Albert Pujols hit a double on a 3-0 pitch. 3-ball, no strike pitching. He had a double to right center to knock in Eckstein. Albert's had 2 hits total in the game and a walk. Eckstein hit a 2-run homer in the second to make it 3-0 on a 2-0 pitch. Golfs that one right past third base coach Rob Piccolo. Still 0-2. Here's Eckstein. Eckstein's had a single, a homer, and a walk in this game. Cardinals have 7 runs and 11 hits. Robert Fick, the runner at second here on what ended up being the throwing error by Eckstein as he tried to complete a double play. And Khalil Green trying to knock in a run here. Green having stepped out now. Green hit 308 with runners in scoring position for the season. His 70 RBIs this year, even though he missed 41 games, is a club record for a shortstop.
You know, it's interesting. I was just looking at, you know, the probables for tomorrow, and St. Louis doesn't have one there. You know, San Diego had Adam Eaton, who we talked to, but Tony La Russa said he didn't name a guy because he wanted both of them to think that they're pitching. That's Jason Marquis and Jeff Suppan. That's interesting. I mean, now if they don't have to play the game, neither one of them will have known who was going to pitch.
He
wouldn't feel slighted. The other one wouldn't feel slighted.
Yeah, so maybe there's some wisdom there.
Yeah.
The curveball, he struck him out. He's tagged out then. The ball ended up in the dirt. Molina tagged him out. 2 down.
Well, he kept throwing a fastball in, fastball in. Now he throws him a curveball away. And Khalil chases this breaking ball off the plate outside and in the dirt. But the fastballs in are what set that pitch up.
"13 pitches in this inning, all for strikes. Now number 14, and that's a strike call, a curveball to Randa. So he's at 103 pitches, and he's having one of his real strong innings here. That curveball is a foul. Now it's 0-2.
And as we said at the beginning of the ball game, if he was controlling his curveball, he was going to be successful. And he's controlled it from the first inning, and he's been able to throw strikes with it, even get hitters to chase it out of the strike zone. But the curveball has been the key for him tonight.
Cardinal bullpen is busy just in case. Mark Sweeney has come out on deck. The pitcher spot due up next. And that sinker low and outside. So he finally threw a pitch, not a strike. There's Sweeney, a left-handed hitter. Ray King, the left-hander, number 56, has joined Brad Thompson, number 48, the right-hander. The third, Nunez, and the inning is over. 9 outs needed for the Cardinals, and they will have won this series. They lead 7-2 on to the 7th inning now. The Cardinals 7 runs, 11 hits, 1 error, and the Padres 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and it's been more of the same in this game tonight that we've seen throughout this series. Matt Morris, after the inning, back into the dugout.
And I'm sure that's going to be all for Matt.
6 innings, over 100 pitches thrown, what, about 105, 106 pitches? That's just an estimate.
But then again, it may not be. Bro.
I'm not the stats guy. 2-0 the count to Abraham Nunez. He's 1 for 3. Seañez. That's a high strike. Seañez is the 4th pitcher for the Padres. The Cardinals jumped out to an 8-0 lead by the 5th inning of Game 1. And you know, things were going poorly early on in that ball game for Jake Peavy, the ace of the Padres, who was, if they were going to have a chance to win this series, and we talked about it before Game 1, you mentioned it, that Peavy was the guy who was going to have to be the equalizer.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a top-notch pitcher can be the equalizer. But he got roughed up, and then we were stunned to learn afterward, after we left St. Louis and were flying off to Anaheim. He swung at it, strike 3. That he actually had a cracked rib, a broken rib. And apparently it was from an injury that he sustained in their celebration when they clinched the division a week earlier when the San Francisco Giants had been here. I mean, that was one of the most bizarre stories of this entire postseason.
Well, there's still speculation on when he actually heard it. But some people say he heard it when he fell off the mound that day.
Well, he says that that's when it really became an issue in that game for him. And Yadier Molina retired. And there's the celebration that occurred that night. And here's where he stumbled coming off the mound. His spike caught in the rubber. And he felt something after that. Well, now John Rodriguez is going to come up as a pinch hitter for Matt Morris. So Morris is out of the game now. But, you know, the Cardinals jumped out with an 8-0 lead in that first game. They ended up winning at 8-5. The Padres scored some runs late in that game. Actually had the possible tying run on base finally in the ninth inning before it ended. That one is dropped by Fick. He recovered it and got the out. That's not the way to do it, really, but he got the out. Whoops. Better hurry. Game 3, the National League Division Series, the Sanders series so far. 10 RBIs for Reggie Sanders. Tomorrow, the Braves and the Astros. It's an elimination game for the Braves. They've got to win or they'll have to go home. It looks like Tim Hudson could well get the start against Brandon Backey right here on ESPN. 1 o'clock Eastern Time, noon Central. And then the Cardinals and Padres if necessary. And the Cardinals, of course, are hoping that it is not necessary. And the Yankees and Angels on Fox tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Time, 4:30 Pacific. Chuck Cohn for the Yankees against Washburn of the Angels. There's Brad Thompson, the right-hander, on in relief of Matt Morris. And quite a night for Matt Morris.
That didn't have any victories in his last 7 starts. And that's a confidence factor there. It starts to build on you or work on you when you're not winning ball games. And this will help him, you know, if the Cardinals are able to advance and he pitches in the League Championship Series, he'll have a little more confidence going out to the mound.
I mean, Matt Morris in 2001 was a 22-game winner. He won 17 the next year. And he'd been a pretty consistently top-notch pitcher for the Cardinals for several years. In fact, his .620 winning percentage is third all-time among Cardinal pitchers who've had at least 100 decisions. Only Mort Cooper and Dizzy Dean with higher winning percentages for the Cardinals than Matt Morris. But he struggled. He lost 5 straight games, 7 starts, 5 losses. At the end of the year, that's by far the longest losing streak of his entire career. So this, you know, this juncture of his career, maybe more than ever before, he needed that.
Right, he definitely needs
boost.
You have to have some success before you're going to be confident out there on the mound.
So a couple of changes for the Cardinals, and you predicted it. There's So Taguchi replacing Larry Walker in right field. And the new pitcher is Brad Thompson. And a strike to the pinch hitter, Damian Jackson. Jackson, a very fast runner, and he's had 2 hits in 2 at-bats in this series. And that's a ball down and away. 7-2, the Cardinals lead. Taguchi in right field. Taguchi will go into the 4th spot in the batting order, where Walker had been. Ooh, nasty pitch down and in, struck him out. And there is one away. Let's find out who's left on the bench now for the Padres, presented by ING. They've still got a left-handed hitter, Mark Sweeney. The backup catcher is Miguel Olivo. Ben Johnson, an outfielder, and Xavier Nady, who is an outfielder and an infielder, also still available. They've used 3 pinch hitters in that number 9 spot in the order. Woody Williams, the starting pitcher, who's an excellent hitter, never had a chance to get to the plate. He was gone so quickly. He lasted only 1 2/3 innings. Leadoff man Dave Roberts, the hitter right now, and it's a ball and a strike. Brad Thompson in the game, only 23 years old. That ball is hit deep into right field. Back goes Taguchi. Gone! A home run. A rare four-bagger for Dave Roberts. He hit 8 in the regular season.
Well, who says this is a big ballpark? Because as soon as he hit it, he knew it was a home run. And he hit it straight away right field. And watch the reaction. He knows as soon as he hits it, it's a home run right there. He just kind of flips the bat. He doesn't even look at it.
Now Mark Loretta, and he takes a called strike. Loretta has flied out, hit a comebacker, and singled home a run. So it is 7-3 now. The Cardinals lead. And the Cardinal bullpen is busy again. After Loretta, 3 of the next 4 hitters in the lineup are left-handed hitters. So this could be the final batter for Thompson. Cardinal bullpen in game 1, after Carpenter had to leave the game with some cramping due to dehydration, the bullpen gave up 5 runs in 3 innings in that game, which is unusual. The Cardinal bullpen has been pretty good all year long. There is Flores in the bullpen. Randy Flores, a left-hander. 1 ball, 2 strikes, a count now. So Flores getting ready. He may be coming in here after Loretta's at bat. 1-2 to Loretta. Thompson in relief of Morris. Nunez throws it out. 2 down, and now let's go to the studio for a SportsCenter 30 at 30 update with John Buccigross.
Thank you, John. The Astros beat the Braves 7-3. Mike Land, the big home run right here. The Astros can get to the NLCS for the 2nd year in a row with a win tomorrow at home. And Michael Vick is questionable for tomorrow's game against the injury-riddled Patriots. His knee will be a game-time decision. Details on SportsCenter after the game on ESPN News right now.
All right, John, and the pitching change has been made here by Tony La Russa. He's going to that left-hander, Randy Flores, with the left-hander hitting Giles coming up. So we're going to send it back. We'll be right back here. Brian Giles is coming up now to face the new Cardinal pitcher, Randy Flores. Flores out of the University of Southern California. He's got a younger brother, Ron, who's in the Oakland Athletics organization. Flores is 30 years old. On to face Brian Giles with Klesko, another lefty, on deck. And Giles takes a called strike. 7-3, the Cardinals lead. That was the final today in Houston. Houston beat Atlanta 7-3 to go ahead 2-1 in that National League Division Series. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Gary Miller also here downstairs. 45,093, the paid crowd at Petco Park. That's back out of play. 1-2 the count, and a fan made the catch. There's a look at the crowd here. Beautiful ballpark in downtown San Diego. Double deck out in right field. I know you were here, what, about a week and a half ago, and watched the game from one of the towers.
You know, it was great that night. It was a lot of excitement. Remember, it was the first game of the Giants series when the Giants were trying to catch the Padres down the stretch. And that was as loud as I'd ever seen this stadium. I mean, they were reacting.
Now, you didn't even have to be inside the ballpark, Joe, to see the game, because there's a hotel across the street, and the folks up on the roof can look right in and catch the game from up there.
But I tell you what, I don't think my eyes are as good as the camera's eyes to be able to watch the game from that far away.
Well, you'd have to bring your binoculars. But you'd save some cash, right? Although I suppose you have to, I don't know, buy a round of drinks or something if you're going to be up there. Brian Giles with a count of 2-2. He's 1 for 3 in the game. Right back to Flores. And a little lob over to first base for the out. On to the 8th inning, the top of the order, Eckstein. Then Jim Edmonds and Albert Pujols. 7-3 Cardinals. Downtown San Diego. And some of the towers along the waterfront in San Diego. And we're over just a couple of blocks off the waterfront and right near the Gaslamp Quarter in Petco Park. And there is Akinori Otsuka, the veteran right-hander. Going to set up man the last couple of years for the Padres. Now he's just trying to hold the line as he faces the top of the order. David Eckstein looks at a fastball for a called strike.
John, I've always, since I've been coming to the stadium, I'd come in, walk on the field, maybe go to the clubhouse, and, and then come up to the booth. I actually went upstairs today, up on the top level, and walked around and looked out. It's just a magnificent view from up there, and they did a fantastic job of, making it just a beautiful area up there on top. I mean, it's similar to SBC Park. Some of the seats are in the upper deck have the better views, of the entire area.
Eckstein has his third hit of the game. It's the fourth time he's been on base. He's also had a walk, 2 singles, a homer, and a walk for Eckstein tonight. Back in the second inning when it was a 1-0 game, with a runner at first, Eckstein hit one down the left field line and a home run. And that was the first half of what proved to be a 4-run rally. Reggie Sanders drove in the other 2 runs a little bit later in the inning. They actually had 2 separate rallies in that inning. Here's Edmonds. He has doubled and scored a run. Eckstein back to the bag at first. But you were over here on the first base side of that tower, right in the middle of the upper deck seating. On both sides, they have a couple of towers. First base, third base side. There's that tower. And it's got the look of the old California missions, the sort of adobe clay kind of a look, as Edmonds showed bunt there and took a strike. And they got some luxury suites up there in that tower.
Yeah, I think I was right there.
You were luxuriating up there.
Yeah, someplace. So yeah, that was it.
I asked you afterward how it was up there. You said, well, I watched a baseball game from that high before.
I had.
0-2 the count to Jim Edmonds. Albert Pujols on deck. The crowd very quiet. It's been all Cardinals tonight and for 3 games in this series. You got some stands up on top of the 19th century brick building out there. The left portion of that building is the foul pole. But hits the building on the yellow line or to the right, it's a home run. That is inside to Jim Edmonds. There's just the corner of the building. That's the foul building. If you hit it to the left side of that, that's a foul ball. You hit the side of the building. You hit the face of the building, home run.
That's excellent architectural design right there, because, I mean, to be able to just get it perfectly like that.
That is a foul. And who knew about foul poles back in the 19th century like that?
It was already there, and they just built the stadium around it. Right? Yeah.
At Camden Yards in Baltimore, you've got the old 19th century B&O railway station and warehouse out there. 1 ball, 2 strikes the count. Edmonds, high drive out toward that 402 side. Way back there is Roberts. Tagging up Eckstein, and he runs to second base on that very deep fly ball by Edmonds.
Well, that's when you realize how big a ballpark this is, because this ball is hit very hard to the left center field, and it just doesn't carry. It jumps out there. The ball jumps out there quickly, and then it just starts to die. And I mean, that's just 5 or 10 feet from the fence. And again, they're not going to pitch to Pujols.
It's the second time tonight that Albert Pujols has been walked intentionally. But instead of Larry Walker coming up next, it is So Taguchi who's coming up this time. So ball 3 to Pujols. The Cardinals need only 6 outs more to win this division series and then move on to host either Houston or Atlanta Wednesday at Busch Stadium, St. Louis. Last year in the first round, they beat the the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Astros beat Atlanta in the first round last year. And the Cardinals ended up facing Houston in what was a real hard-fought and very exciting series.
Game 7, Roger Clemens was on the mound for the Astros.
And he pitched well. But they managed to pull it out and go to the World Series. And that's a ball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes to count to So Taguchi. Taguchi, another Cardinal role player, had an excellent year, hit .288. And he just seemed like the more he played, the better he got. That's a double play ball to short. Green has it. The second one. And Loretta's relay, not in time.
Taguchi was flying down the line. He got out of the box really well.
Eckstein takes third. Taguchi safe at first.
And this will give Reggie Sanders another chance to drive in a run. Now, I mean, they make the play perfectly. Look at this turn. But Taguchi beats it out. I mean, he got out of the box very well, and he's flying down the line. Good hustle by Taguchi to stay out of the double play.
When you mentioned Reggie Sanders, he's had 10 RBIs already in this series, including 2 more tonight. His 2-run double in the second made it a 5-0 score. 7-3 the score right now. The Cardinals lead. And that one, a slider at the knees for a strike. Sanders, who always kind of twirls the bat around. It's like a nervous habit. It's pretty cool looking, though.
Yeah.
He turns the bat into a baton after every pitch. 2 on, 2 out. And that's slider low. And then Reggie.
What? I can't talk about nervous habits personally, but
he doesn't start, wiggling the elbow. It's just, well, he wasn't even twiddling the bat around there.
Yeah, a little bit. He just gave us the short version.
1 ball, 1 strike to Sanders. And there is Giles. For Sanders, 10 RBIs in 3 games. He may not get any more to try to pad that total. 6 outs the Cardinals need to wrap up this series. In San Diego, game 3, the Cardinals lead this game 7-3. Ryan Klesko with a pop-up. Out into shallow left goes Eckstein near the foul line. And Klesko is gone just like that, 1 away. Trevor Hoffman has started to warm up in the Padres bullpen. Trevor, who has not appeared in this series. And we're going to take it down to Gary Miller now. Gary?
That's a sight we may never see again here in San Diego. They came here in a trade in 1993, John, but he's a free agent. And Trevor Hoffman, a little embarrassed by an article in the paper today. We'll talk more about the potential of Trevor Hoffman playing his last game as a Padre after we see this pitching change, John.
Yeah, Tony La Russa has come out, and he is going to the bullpen with the right-handed hitting Ramon Hernandez. Coming up, Julian Tavares comes in to pitch. 1 out of 8 inning. We'll be back.
Back at Petco Park with the Cardinals holding a 7-3 lead. They make a pitching change, and we may see Trevor Hoffman before this game is over. Even though the Padres are losing, it may be the last chance for these fans to see him. John and Joe, he's making $5 million this year. He's a free agent. He's the second all-time in saves to Lee Smith. But Trevor has kind of priced himself for this market. He was a little embarrassed that the article came out when they still had some games to play here in this series. But he does recognize the reality that this could be it for him as a Padre.
Ramon Hernandez driving one deep left center field. Gone! The first pitch from Julian Tavares. And Hernandez, that's a long home run out there to very deep left center. And now it is 7-4.
Well, so much for the ball will not go out of the ballpark. Dave Roberts hit one to right field. Now Hernandez, this is left center. This is one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. But as Bruce Bochy told me, you just have to get it all. You can hit it out, but you got to get it all. I mean, that's the deep part of the ballpark right there.
So up that 76 sign out there, which is basically up the facing of that second deck. That's a pretty good shot. Here's Robert Fick. Bounces a foul. Well, for the second time in the 3 games, the Padres put some runs on the board late in the game. And the Cardinal bullpen is busy again. Ramon Hernandez, who was hot at the end of the season, the last 3 weeks of the season or so. And a changeup in the dirt. Robert Fick is 0 for 3 in the game. There is Isringhausen, the Cardinal closer, getting ready in the bullpen. 7-4 Cardinals. It was 7-0 in the 5th inning. Slider over the outside for a strike. Trevor Hoffman getting ready. Now, when Hoffman comes into a game in a save situation, which is invariably at the start of the 9th inning, Hoffman never did have a save situation where he came in before the 9th inning this year. That's outside with a fastball, and it is 2-2 to Fick. Well, I mean, it's always a great moment in this park.
One of the great spectacles in sport, John. It really is.
It really is.
I mean, I was here Monday, as you mentioned, watching when the Giants played, and I mean, it was just awesome. I mean, to hear the noise and the music and to watch him come in, it was just great.
But that's in a save situation.
Yeah, but I you know, if this is maybe his last shot, I think you have to do it.
The bells toll.
Yeah.
That one into left center, but there is Reggie Sanders, and that is out number 2. Fick is 0 for 4. 2 down in the inning, and Khalil Green comes up. But I'm wondering if, you know, just for old time's sake,
yeah,
if maybe they'll do it tonight, because the crowd, I think, would really respond to it.
I would too.
It would be good show business.
Yeah.
Trevor Hoffman getting ready in the bullpen, and he knows. I mean, that this, as Gary was talking about, he knows. They all know. We know. It's possible this could be his final game as a Padre. That slider is low for a ball.
Unless he changes his mind on a price. I mean, that may happen.
Well, I mean, he may get out there and find out that what he wants, that there are several teams willing to pay it, or maybe he'll find out that there are no teams willing to pay it. That's what happens when you go out there in the free market. You find out. But he had a pretty good year for the way they used him. He was almost flawless. 43 saves, 3 blown saves the whole year. A little pop fly, shallow right. Taguchi racing in, can't get it. That's a base hit for Khalil Green. His first hit of the game. And they need to have one more base runner to be able to send a possible tying run to the plate.
Well, Taguchi got a great jump on it, but just couldn't get there in time. And Taguchi is an excellent outfielder.
Hit number 8 for the Padres. And here comes Tony. He's got the closer, Isringhausen, ready in the bullpen, needing 4 outs more. And this is interesting. As Tony is out with the plate umpire explaining the double switch.
Yeah.
And Dave Duncan is going out to the mound. So Mabry is going to go into the outfield. And Isringhausen is going to be the new pitcher, the closer. A runner at first, 2 down in the 8th inning. The Padres still alive in this one, trailing 7-4. And fans here in San Diego trying to get some excitement going here. The Padres have made it 7-4. More action tomorrow here on ESPN at 1 Eastern, noon Central. The Braves and the Astros. The Braves battling for survival in the division series there. Cardinals and Padres. And tomorrow night, Game 4 at Yankee Stadium. The Yankees and the Angels on Fox at 7:30 Eastern Time. Chacon versus Washburn in that one. John Mabry comes in to play right field. So Taguchi moves from right over to left field, and Reggie Sanders leaves the game. And the new pitcher is the closer, Jason Isringhausen, one of the top closers in the game. Although when he came in Game 1 on Tuesday, they got 4 hits against him in that game. He gave up 4 consecutive hits at one point before he finally wrapped it up. And there's a ball too high to Joe Randa. If Randa gets on base, then Mark Sweeney, who is out on deck, would come up as the possible tying run of the game. Padres have hit 2 home runs here in the last 2 innings. There goes Green. The ball is lifted to right center. Mabry on the run, and that ends the inning. Another run for the Padres. They're down 7-4. And Trevor Hoffman may well be coming in now as we go to the ninth. 7-4. Petco Park, San Diego. And the Cardinals now needing 3 outs more to win this division series. They're leading 2-0 and they lead this game 7-4 here in the ninth. Now the Chevrolet player of the game. And Joe, we were thinking Matt Morris.
Yeah, he set the tone by shutting down the Padres. Didn't give up a hit for the first 4.5 innings. So I think he did the job.
Matt Morris ended up going 6. 2 runs allowed, left with a 7-2 lead. And now Trevor Hoffman comes on as Matt Morris is our Chevrolet player of the game in recognition of his outstanding play. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to the Boys and Girls Club of America. It's on Trevor Hoffman's numbers. And it's interesting, Joe. I mean, Trevor is truly the guy to come in the 9th inning to wrap up the game, and he's the game over guy. But he doesn't come in before the 9th. Not this inning, not this year. One hop to third, Randa, and one away as Grudzielanek is retired. And of course, Trevor Hoffman, he's not a hard thrower anymore, and hasn't been for several years. But he's got one of the great changeups in the game.
He used a changeup, and he's sneaky fast with his fastball because he throws so many changeups. The fastball becomes, pretty good weapon for him as well, and he spots it well.
He gives you a lot of motion, that big leg kick. Curveball. 0-1 to Abraham Nunez, who's 1 for 4. So Trevor Hoffman, 43 saves, 46 save chances. That's into center field, and that's going to be a base hit.
But he threw 2 curveballs in a row.
And Nunez has his second hit. And Yadier Molina will come up now. So Trevor Hoffman, who this year got into 60 games and pitched 57 2/3 innings. So that's not many innings.
That's not even, he came in sometimes, I guess, with 1 out in the 9th inning.
So, but they know if they've got a lead of 3 runs or less and it's the 9th inning, Trevor comes in and the game is over. Only 3 times this year did he fail to save that lead in the 9th. 1 strike to count to Yadier Molina. He had what really now looks like a real big hit.
Yeah, it was.
In the 5th inning. I mean, they were leading 5-0 at the time, and he made it 7-0. That's out of play. But this game would look a little different right now if it was 5-4 instead of 7-4. Right after the game, stay tuned for Sports Center. Trevor Hoffman. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Hoffman's brother, that ball goes back out of play. He's a former big league player who's lately been the third base coach for the Los Angeles Dodgers, Glenn Hoffman, and for a time was the manager of the Dodgers. And now that Jim Tracy has departed the Dodgers, Glenn Hoffman doesn't know where he's going to be working either. 0-2 the count. That ball is down the left field line, foul. Nice grab down there by the ball girl. And a souvenir for a young fan. 0-2 the count to Yadier Molina. John Mabry is on deck. One out, runner at first. That is just foul. Still 0-2.
Looked like he was just a little bit out front, and he hooks it foul by about 1.5 feet.
There's the signal. Tim Timmons. You got lots of guys in the postseason to make signals out there. 6-man umpiring crews. Back to first is Nunez. You got over there third base Tim Timmons, and behind him along the left field line Ed Montague, the crew chief, the veteran umpire. 0-2 the count. Just missing on the inside with a fastball.
Well, he tried to sneak the fastball in, and you could see Hernandez move it a little bit back toward the inside corner.
Goes back in there again. Klesko back in left field, plenty of room. Right at the edge of the track. So Yadier Molina is gone. 2 for 5 for him tonight. Nunez back to first. Now Mabry comes up. Game 3 of the National League Division Series. The Cardinals and the Padres. The Cardinals, the champions of the Central Division. And the Padres, the champions of the Western Division. The Cardinals with a win on Tuesday and then a win on Thursday at home, came in tonight with a 2-0 lead, and they jumped ahead early on. There's Mabry swinging and missing at the vaunted Hoffman changeup, and it is 0-1 to Mabry. Mabry is 1 for 1 in this series. It's only his second plate appearance. But the Cardinals need only 3 outs in the last of the ninth to wrap this one up. And the Padres will be due to have a pinch hitter for Hoffman, then the leadoff man Dave Roberts and Mark Loretta. Those are their first 3 hitters due up. And if somebody get on base, they got Giles and Klesko. Some of their best hitters would come up after. Popped up, and Robert Fick, the first baseman, down toward home, and the inning is over. Last chance for the Padres to keep their season going. And the Cardinals getting close to moving on.
All right. Okay.
In San Diego, and the Padres are running out of outs. Only 3 outs remain to them, and then their season will be over. Sports Center coming right up after the game. And the Braves on the brink after losing tonight. Highlights from that one. The Yankees and Angels got rained out at Yankee Stadium, and USC in college football stays perfect. All those stories and more on Sports Center coming up right after the game. Mark Sweeney will lead off for the Padres as a pinch hitter for Trevor Hoffman. Fastball to strike. And this is one of the anomalies of the season. They had the whole Western Division. The Padres are the only team that had a winning record in the division. And that's a ball down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. And there were several other teams that had better records that didn't make the postseason at all in the National League this year.
John, I think what we have to look for now is, unless the Padres are able to score 5 quick runs here, 3 quick runs to tie it and maybe 1 to win it, is how the matchup goes with St. Louis as far as, whether it's Houston or Atlanta, because whomever they end up playing, I think if St. Louis is going to have the advantage because they're going to be able to set up their pitching rotation. And whereas the other 2 teams are going to have to use their best pitchers down the stretch to try to get into the playoffs.
And that's, although if the Astros can win tomorrow, then they line up with Pettit, Clemens, and Oswalt, the first 3 in that order.
But if Bakke is not able to win the ball game, then they would have to pitch Pettit.
In a game 5. 3-1 the count. Way outside.
But what's that Yogi said? Let's wait a while.
No, Yogi said You better cut it into 4 pieces because I'm not that hungry. Not over just yet. Here is Dave Roberts. He hit a home run in the 7th inning. He's 1 for 4. His home run came after 3 straight groundouts to the second baseman. And that's a called strike with a fastball. Albert Pujols is not holding against Sweeney at first base. 7-4, the Cardinals lead.
Well, when you look at Isringhausen, he doesn't have an overpowering fastball, but he does have a good curveball and a little slider.
There goes Sweeney, and a foul. It goes out of play. Roberts hit a long home run out there into right field his last time.
Well, it's not often in this ballpark you know it's gone as soon as you hit it, but Roberts knew that one was gone.
He and Ramon Hernandez with home runs for the Padres tonight. Eckstein hit one for the Cardinals. 0-2 the count. Did he swing? Well, finally an appeal made to the third base umpire. Tim Timmons, no, that wasn't a swing, he says. 1-2 the count. 7 runs, 13 hits for the Cardinals, 4 runs, 8 hits for the Padres. It's Matt Morris's game to win. Curveball struck him out.
And that is his best pitch. Well, I said he throws fastball, a little cutter, but that big breaking curveball is his best pitch. And he's got great rotation on it. Look at that, just straight down almost. And Dave Roberts right over the top of it.
Matt Morris leading the cheers from the Cardinal dugout. 2 outs away from moving on to face either Atlanta or Houston. And that's a base hit down the left field line from Mark Loretta. Taguchi over to cut it off. Sweeney will stop at second base. And here comes Brian Giles, the Padres' #1 hitter, and he is the possible tying run of the game.
Well, they should get 2 good shots at it with Giles and then Klesko, unless, of course, Giles hits into a double play. But they got 2 shots at trying to tie this ball game, or at least extend the inning.
Giles has not had success against Isringhausen. Only 1 hit in 10 lifetime at bats against him. Klesko's another story. Curveball. Did he swing? And the plate umpire, it looked like he started to ask the third base umpire, and then he said, no, that's a swing.
Yeah, he did start to point down there, and then all of a sudden he said strike.
You mentioned Giles only 1 hit in 10 lifetime at bats. That 1 hit was last Tuesday, an RBI single at Busch Stadium. The last time he faced Isringhausen. Klesko on deck, Ramon Hernandez in the hole. 2 men on in the 9th. Curveball. 1 ball, 1 strike. The League Championship Series will begin in St. Louis Wednesday if they can wrap this one up. Curveball. That's a strike. 1-2 to Giles.
It's interesting, neither Hoffman nor Isringhausen has the overpowering fastball, but Isringhausen has the great curveball and Hoffman has the great changeup. You have to have 1 big pitch to be a closer.
Got a rally cap going there in the Padres dugout. Curveball. Ooh. 2-2. Giles 1 hit, 4 at bats tonight, 3 for 12 in the series. Sports Center right after the game. 7-4 Cardinals, last of the 9th. 1 out, 2 men on. The fastball is way outside. 3-2.
Well, he's definitely not making it easy for himself. Because he knows that if he doesn't throw a strike, Giles is not going to swing at it.
Well, the crowd is into it now. Ryan Klesko on deck. Fastball, straight foul. A real protective hack right there. Fighting it off. Giles facing a pitcher. Not that he's facing that many times, but he's never been able to really figure him out.
Well, I think because he threw him a fastball, he was late on it, he can throw him another one if he wants. Because the last thing he wants to do is walking. Yeah.
Strike 3 call.
Yeah, so you can throw him another one if he was so late on the one before. That tells you he was looking for something else. So you can throw him another one, and he does, and Giles takes it. If you're that late on a 2-strike, 3-2 pitch the first time, the next one you can throw it to him again. And this is kind of the pitch that they called a ball on Giles early in the ball game, and I can't imagine him taking that pitch with 2 strikes. But he took it, and Dreckman rung him up.
So now Ryan Klesko. We mentioned Giles without success in the past against Isringhausen. But Ryan Klesko has a .429 average against Isringhausen. 6 hits, 14 at-bats, including a home run.
And that's why you saw Duncan go out there, Dave Duncan go out to remind him that Klesko has had some success and give him the game plan that they want to use tonight.
So Duncan back to the dugout. 2 men on, 2 men out. Here's Klesko, 0 for 3 with a walk in this game. Right on the outside corner, strike 1 call. Klesko, and he did not have many home runs, only 18, but that was the #1 figure on the Padres club. Curveball in the dirt, and a new ball will be put in play. 1 ball, 1 strike. Reggie Sanders, who's had a spectacular series, alongside Larry Walker, getting ready to celebrate. They led 7-0 in the 5th inning. It's 7-4 now with 2 down in the 9th. 2 men on. Right back to Isringhausen. And the ball game is over. The series is over. The St. Louis Cardinals have won the division series, and they'll be moving on back home to Busch Stadium to play either Houston or Atlanta starting Wednesday.
And I mean, this is what I expected from spring training, not necessarily a sweep here, but I expected the St. Louis Cardinals to win the division series, and I expect them to win the World Series. They're that good, and I think they are the best team in the National League at this point. But Houston and the Atlanta Braves obviously going to have something to say about it, but I really believe that they are the best team.
And they can have their rotation just the way they want it. If Mark Mulder, the key acquisition in the offseason, if Mark Mulder is able to go.
Yeah. Well, Mulder wouldn't have to pitch till probably next Thursday or something at the earliest.
So we get an extra few days.
Yeah.
And Carpenter would go game 1, and he'll have had over a week's worth of rest.
Exactly.
And the Cardinals, by the time that series starts, as we see that final pitch for the final out one last time.
And it was an excellent pitch. What they decided was just to stay away from Klesko. He threw him a fastball on the outside, a straight fastball. Then he turned this one over a little bit. It ran away from him, and Klesko hit it off the end of the bat. And there you see the La Russa and his crew getting excited about winning another division championship.
And the champagne is ready to go in the St. Louis clubhouse as the congratulations continue. And the Cardinals are out there celebrating, but the ballpark itself is funereal. Gary Miller is downstairs with the man of the series and one of the greatest series ever seen in a division series. Let's go to Gary.
John, I'm here with Reggie Sanders. We don't give an MVP for the LDS, and I know it's been a group effort, Reggie, but your hits meant so much. Tonight, another big hit in this game. You never let them take a lead in this series. How crucial was that for your team?
Well, it's very crucial because you got to continue to put pressure on them. You know, this is a very good team over here. We definitely can't take lightly at all. As you can see, they fought to the last out, and so we just had to continue to keep the pressure on them.
You know, Tony La Russa loves to double switch, so you were out of the game there at the end. You're on the bench with Larry Walker, who you were both in the starting outfield tonight. Take us through that ninth inning and how Harriet got here.
Man, it got scary. You know, when you have a good team like that and they get a momentum shift, you know, it gets kind of scary. So, you know, Izzy settled down. We were kind of nervous over there, and Izzy settled down and was able to close it out. Reggie, how important is it that you guys swept them? You're going to have extra rest. The LCS won't start until Wednesday. Who knows? I mean, you know, we're just glad that we have it over. You know, we got a big series coming up next, and so we're just going to, you know, take a little bit of time off and then get ourselves ready. You're not concerned at all you're going to have time off? I mean, you can't get any hotter than you are right now. No, you know, hey, we're just going to keep working and go from there. Okay, congratulations, Reggie. Thank you, sir. Thank you. John?
All right, Gary, thanks, and congratulations to Reggie Sanders. And would you know, he has one of the great division series ever seen, but they truly don't give out MVP awards for the division series.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah.
Well, we can get
I guess there are so many, you know, division series that it would be impossible to
Well, we can
do
get
that.
one anyway.
Yeah, well, he's our most valuable player in the series.
I mean, it was an extraordinary 10 RBIs in only 3 games.
Right.
Wow. That may live on for a long time to come. All right, the champagne. And they can celebrate. They earned it. The St. Louis Cardinals waiting to find out whether they'll face Atlanta or Houston Wednesday at Busch Stadium. Well, that does it for the Padres. The season is over. I'm John Miller with Joe Morgan. Thanks to Gary Miller. Thanks for tuning in tonight. SportsCenter is next. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. The Cardinals moving on.
All right, let's get it popping on SportsCenter. Game 3 for the Padres and Cardinals. St. Louis trying to end this thing Saturday night at Petco Park, hoping Matt Morris could help them get the sweep. Top first, one-on-one out. Woody Williams facing Albert Pujols. Albert, fat, David Eckstein. He's going to score all the way from first. The Cards with the early 1-0 lead. Mark McGwire checking out the game with Cards GM Walt Jocketty. Top second, one-on-one out. David Eckstein doing his McGwire impression. 2-run shot for him. And the Cards take the 3-0 lead. And Williams not having a good night. Later in the inning, bases loaded, 2 outs. Reggie Sanders at the plate. Who's been hotter than Reggie Sanders in the playoffs? Answer, nobody. Double to left, that'll score 2. Jim Edmonds and Pujols come around. Sanders with 10 RBI in this series. It's 5-0 Cards. And Williams, that's it. 1 2/3, 6 hits, 2 walks, 5 earned runs. We move to the 5th. Top 5, 1 out. Runners in 2nd and 3rd. Yadier Molina just pokes one out there. Mark Goodzelantic and Abraham Nunez score. All the Molinas chipping into the playoffs, and the Cards dominating 7-0. And the fish tacos not tasting too good in San Diego tonight. Bottom 5, Padres still with no hits. First batter, Khalil Green. Deep, but not deep enough to keep Jim Edmonds from hauling it in. Matt Morris, like, that's what's up. Next batter is Joe Randa. And Randa, that'll be good for a double, so there goes the no-hitter. Randa will later score to get the Padres on the board. Later in the inning, now 7-2, runners at the corners, 2 outs. Morris facing Ryan Klesko. Got him with the high heat. Morris, 6 innings work, 5 hits, 2 earned runs. 7-4 game in the 9th. Tying run at the plate is Klesko. And that's not going to hurt a bit. Jason Isringhausen takes care of it. 7-4 Cards in Game 3. And just like the Paris and Paris nuptials, this series is over. Sanders, 10 RBI, a new NLDS record, and just 2 shy of John Valentin's record of 12 in the ALDS. It's the 2nd straight year the Cardinals advance to the NLCS. They await the winner of the Astros-Braves series. Harold Reynolds now on how the Padres let an early chance to get back in the game get away.
Woody Williams really put his team in the hole in the beginning of the first 2 innings. Down 5-0. The Padres had to turn to their offense. And Matt Morris with the Cardinals gave them an opportunity in the 2nd inning. The bottom of the 2nd, he walked the first 2 hitters. And then Robert Fitt came to the plate and dropped down a bunt. You have to wonder, why would they be bunting in that situation instead of playing for a big inning? Anytime you play a club like the Cardinals, You have to get a big inning when the opportunity is presented to itself. I thought it was there in the second inning, and the Padres didn't take advantage of it.
So the Cardinals register the 5th postseason series sweep in franchise history. All of them have come in 5-game series. The 3 previous times that the Redbirds broke out the brooms, they ended up losing in the NLCS. In fact, the only time that they didn't was 1982 when they beat the Braves.
Sunday, Cardinals-Padres, Game 3. St. Louis looking for the sweep. Albert Pujols in the first. To right, David Eckstein will score. Pujols has a double, and the Cardinals have a 1-0 lead. And there's more offense where that came from. Top 2, how about Eckstein? Off Woody Williams, 2-run shot. St. Louis would take a 7-0 lead. Bottom 5. Padres trying to get some back. Khalil Green to deep center. Jim Edmonds is out there, and he knows where this ball is every second. But the Padres threaten, down 7-4, bottom 9, 2 outs. Ryan Klesko tying run at the plate. Jason Isringhausen closes out the game, and the Cardinals close out the sweep, and they celebrate. They're on to the NLCS.
Each of the 3 games was so similar because the Padres kept really putting a lot of pressure, a lot of opportunities in the last part of the game, and I mean, even an 8. You know, I had to be sure I checked the scorecard, make sure we won. I mean, it was so close, one at bat here or there. So, the series is a lot closer than the 3-0 margin.
We go out there every single day, and the main focus is trying to win the game. And I think we did a good job. You know, you got to give a lot of credit to San Diego. They battled. They came out and they did not let it be easy for us. And it's been, you know, one of those things down to the last pitch. And you know, I mean, when you get 3 victories off a quality club like that, you're just happy.
2 men on. Right back to Isringhausen. And the ball game is over. The series is over. The St. Louis Cardinals have won the division series.
What's your answer?
Good evening. Welcome inside our FSN studios for the Busch Light Midwest Sports Report. I'm Brent Stover. Rams highlights and reaction. We wrap the Braves and Astros Game 4 as well, but we start with your Redbirds, and the Birds were far and away heading into their division series matchup with the West-winning Padres, the favorite in this series. The Padres finished the year just 2 games over 500 with a suspect starting staff outside of Jake Peavy and a not-too-scary lineup, and things went according to plan with a 3-game sweep for St. Louis. Joel Goldberg and Jim Hayes have more from San Diego, where the Cards took Game 3 last night.
Beautiful San Diego, one of the nicest spots the Cardinals visit in the National League, but no reason to stay any longer here in the postseason. The Redbirds flew back to St. Louis earlier today, ready for their 5th appearance in the NLCS under Tony La Russa. Joel Goldberg joined by Jim Hayes. The Cardinals making quick work of the Padres, capped by their victory last night.
Certainly made it look awful easy. Speaking about the Cardinals, Padre outfielder Dave Roberts said, quote, when those guys get a lead, they smell blood, and the Cardinals were smelling plenty of blood. They had a lead in 25 of the 27 innings in this series. The celebration in the clubhouse seemed actually to last longer than the series itself. If there were an MVP for the series, Reggie Sanders would probably get it. He had the 10 RBI. Albert Pujols hit well over 500 as well. He's the first guy we caught up with in the Cardinal clubhouse as the champagne corks were popping.
It's big, you know, it's big, Joe. Our goal was to come here and just try to take the lead early, you know, and just hopefully make Woody throw some pitch.
I know that this is just part of the journey for you guys, right? I mean, it doesn't stop here. Obviously, you want to go all the way.
Well, we'll see. You know, right now we just need to concentrate and celebrate and be ready for Tuesday or Wednesday.
Some people were saying, well, they won't celebrate too much because they got a ways to go, but you really have to enjoy these, don't you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is what it's all about. You play all year for this. You play all year for this.
We better.
You're right. No.
We'll let you go.
Thank you very much.
That's Mark Grudzielanek. Let's go back to you.
Reggie Sanders, your eyes burn a little bit, but it's got to feel good, huh?
Yeah, it feels real good, you know, to Albert. Yeah, we feel good. Yeah.
10 RBIs. I mean, how do you explain that? Obviously, you were feeling good, but 10 RBIs, you made sure that the offense was ready to go in this series.
Well, I mean, I'm just working hard and just trying to do what I need to do to help the ball club, and you know that's really all I can do.
I mean, this is unbelievable. It's a great feeling. We got a lot ahead of us, so you know, we just want to take a day at a time, serious at a time, and I tell you, man, I'm having the time of my life here. I thank God for this opportunity every day. And
were you guys surprised? I mean, I know you respected San Diego, but to be able to not only beat them in 3 straight games, but for them never to have the lead, did that surprise you?
Oh, not really. You know what I mean? Finally, we got everybody healthy, you know, but the Scott Wallen, and we got Reggie, we got Larry, we got everybody healthy. We know we can score some runs, you know what I mean? And our pitching did whatever they were doing all year. They keep us in the game. They gave us opportunities to score run, and they keep us in the league.
Congratulations. Hope to see you 2 more of these. Go enjoy the fun.
Definitely. Thank you.
All right, Abraham Nunez. Jimmy, back to you.
Matt Morris, how good did that feel tonight to go out there and pitch the way you did?
Oh, it was awesome. You know, it's a big situation. Tony showed a lot of confidence in me, and, you know, I was able to produce, and he's shown confidence, and Dunk has shown confidence in me my whole career, and they gave me another opportunity, and up 2-0 and got some runs off Woody, and which is tough to do, and here we are.
The offense has been getting runs against their starters throughout the series, making it easy for the starting. Oh, that's cold. Yeah, does that sting your eyes a little bit? Get this guy a towel. Oh, congratulations. Matt, Joel, over to you.
Joined by a guy that's always a little crazy during these things. It's always dangerous. Hopefully nobody will see you back here. Julian Tavares, I know you really enjoy these celebrations, don't you?
Well, yeah, I enjoy. You know, it's a long year starting from spring training. We better enjoy, you know, it's one at a time. Today was a big win for us. We're going to a second round. You know, we won. That's only matter. Now we're going to a second round. We better enjoy this, you know, and show everybody in St. Louis they're enjoying it too.
More coming up here from San Diego. We'll go back into the clubhouse last night. Lots more champagne flying all over the place. Jim got some of it. I got some of it. Plus Jim's visit with Walt Jockney. But for now, let's go back to the studio.
Great job, guys. Too much fun. Hey, game 4, the Astros trying to close out the Braves. Adam LaRoche off Brandon Backey in the 3rd. A grand slam, and Atlanta stakes to an early 4-0 lead. Bottom of the 8th, 6-1 Atlanta. Bases loaded, 1 out for Lance Berkman. Against Kyle Farnsworth goes the other way, and it's a grand slam to left. The first 2 grand slam game in postseason history. It's a 1-run game. Bottom of the 9th, 2 out, nobody on. Brad Austin. A shot to left just clears the wall, ties the game at 6, and we go to extra innings. As you see, just barely enough distance. 9 extra innings to be exact. In the 16th, the Astros bring in the Rocket, and the Rocket strikes out Julio Franco looking. Then Jeff Francoeur had a great rookie season, not here. Swings and misses. Marcus Giles in, down, swinging as well. Clemens 3 innings, no runs, 1 hit, 4 strikeouts. Bottom of the 18th, 1 out. Chris Burke, a shot off Joey Devine to left, home run. Houston wins, and they take the series 7-6 the final. Game 1 in St. Louis. The time has not yet been determined. Game 1 in St. Louis on Wednesday. The Stros happy to be moving on. Against the Padres wasn't just good, it was not a good. Sanders setting an NLDS record with 10 RBIs in 3 games against the Pods. The previous record for Ribbies in an NLDS was 9 set by Carlos Beltran last season. Back out to Jim and Joel from San Diego.
A first-round opponent in the playoffs for the 4th time during Tony La Russa's tenure, joined once again by Jim Hayes. They did it to the Padres back in 1996. They do it again. There was some debate. I know we weren't sure how much they would celebrate after this one. They got a lot of work to do, but they certainly had a good time last night.
They did. On the field, though, I would say that they were kind of laid back in their celebration. Not that anyone back in St. Louis was up at that time of the morning to see it, but once they got in the clubhouse, they let it cut loose. Here's more of the celebration from the Cardinal clubhouse. Larry got the goggles on. Are those the ones Suppan gave you?
Yeah, these aren't the ones I had the last round. I forgot them in St. Louis, so he brought 2 pairs with him, so I was able to get another pair from him right now.
How big a factor has the beard been in your success as a team?
You know, it's got us 3 wins, so I'm going to keep it going. A couple other guys got them going. It's tough to get rid of them now, so once you start something, you stick with it. So we'll see what happens.
The starters went out there and got it.
Wow. got much more of that than I did.
They don't realize I'm old. I could have a heart attack.
All worth it, though, except for the heart. I don't ever, but this is fun, isn't it?
It was great. Yeah, everybody did great, and I'm proud of them all.
Congratulations for seeing the next round.
Thank you.
All right, that is Dave Duncan. The camera has a way of bringing just about everybody to these guys. Jimmy, let's go back to you.
This Cardinal team going all the way?
I hope so. We're excited to be in the NLCS again. It's a great place to be.
Sure is. Bill, thanks. Joel, to you.
I know you were in a lot of pain after game. Actually, you're in a lot of pain now in your eyes. But how much does this make it worth it to be able to be in here and celebrate knowing that you're going on to that next round?
Oh, it's fun, man. This is my first time. I said to Tony coming off the field, I said, so this is what it's like to win a division series. You know, I'm at 1 for 5 now, so at least I got 1 under my belt. But, you know, it's fun, man. We played great, so now we're moving on.
All worth the celebration, and they were saying today that you felt better, that the treatment seems to be working. Do you expect you'll be okay for the next series?
Yeah, I don't see why not. It's just sore, you know, so I need to wait for the bruising and everything to go down before I can start throwing, because I can't throw yet, but I'll be all right.
Just be careful with the arm. Don't go too crazy in here.
The trainer's already told me use my right arm, so I'll be all right.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's Mark Mulder. We'll see him in the next series. Jim?
I don't know if you could flip the switch completely, but you better turn it up a notch if you want to win in the postseason. And, you know, we're sorry that we got to play so late at home, and probably people are in bed and everything, but I hope they watched. I hope it was worth it.
And is that switch still on? You guys still have some more work to do?
Yeah, we got another couple weeks, so it'll be fun.
All right, Jimmy, thanks. Joel, over to you.
I'm not convinced that you were wet at all, but no, that's just all the hard work.
This is dry fit, so I got wet. Here, see that?
All right, fair enough.
So you know, but you know, it's a lot of fun. You know, I mean, we're moving on, and we got to be ready to go when they tell us to play again.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right, that's David Eckstein. Jimmy, back to you.
All right, with Ray King. Ray, it's a celebration. Obviously, for you, it's got to be bittersweet.
Yeah, it's a situation where, you know, it's been such a long year for him, been up and down, but, you know, I think the Cardinals gave me a chance to go home and see my dad before it happened, and then getting a phone call Thursday. We won the game then and then won it now, so it kind of makes things a little easier. I can move my schedule around, but, you know, I knew coming in tonight, he's no longer suffering, no longer in pain. He's in a better place, and I can get back to doing what I love to do, and that's play the game of baseball, not worrying about is he okay, not worrying about everything at home, my mom. So, you know, tonight I know he's watching down on us and helping us get this victory. So it's just like you said, it's bittersweet. I want to win 8 more, because if we go 8 more and then put that ring on, I'll be putting it on for him.
Now, the guy maybe most responsible for the Cardinals getting to this point was the driest guy of all. Walt Jocketty did not get 1 drop of champagne on him. Of course, he's a guy decided to bring in Mark Mulder, sign David Eckstein when a lot of people said he shouldn't, and also get Mark Grudzielanek to play second base for the Cardinals. We talked with Walt right after the ball game. Compared to last year, do you guys feel like this team is better suited to finish the job and win a World Series?
Well, I don't know. I hope so. I think, again, it goes back to the depth and quality of our starting pitching, I think, is better this year, and I think we'll see how that takes us, but pitching usually wins championships.
How did you escape without anyone dumping anything on you?
It's a veteran move, you know. You kind of wait till it's all done, then come in.
After the Cardinals were swept by the Red Sox in the World Series last year, Jocketty said one of his main priorities was to upgrade the Cardinals' starting rotation. The addition of Mulder certainly has done that for St. Louis. Battling some soreness, looks like he'll be ready to go, but right now, that Cardinals starting rotation looks pretty formidable.
The rotation looks great. They had lost 4 straight postseason games as well, dating back to last year. I don't know if there was a monkey on their back, but certainly nice to be able to go on the road and win convincingly here in San Diego. Now we know they will be home on Wednesday night. A rematch against the Astros. It's going to make for great television, great theater. It's what the fans want to see. We'll see if it's what the Cardinals want. They're facing a tough opponent.
Yeah, I don't know if Cardinal fans want to see this. I think Cardinal fans following Houston, the way they surged at the end of the season with that starting rotation, Houston is the scariest team outside the Cardinals in the National League.
Our Cardinal coverage will continue throughout the week outside of Busch Stadium. Then we will head to Houston for more with that. But for now, from San Diego, for Jim Hayes, I'm Joel Goldberg. Let's go back to the